attention, and I can understand why. This guy on the AWP is just like, you watch him do things, and you're just like, what? Like, where? Like, I think I saw him get run booted out of long on the T side today, and then just like literally land and kill the AWPer that was holding for him. And I remember just being like, who even calls for that? Like, what? What's the thought process in that? And I think, yeah, for CYBERSHOKE, you've got Phenomenon Glowing kind of picking up the majority of the kills, but Blixie, especially when we get on the CT sides for CYBERSHOKE, look, this guy, he plays the unfortunate positions, but God, can he hold them down? And I think especially when like Zyphon's running at him, when you've got these riflers running at him, I'm really interested to see how he's going to cope, because for me, CYBERSHOKE, they had the warm-up this morning. They played against Ecstatic. Now they're playing against their older brothers in Sashi. And I feel like maybe if it was so difficult against Ecstatic, it might prove a little bit too hard for Sashi.
Well, there you go. Well, we are finally getting kicked off, folks. Dust 2 is our first map in this series of CYBERSHOKE versus Sashi. So thank you very much for sticking with us. We can finally now get into the action and get the yapping behind us. The Sashi now going to be starting on their CT side. I think for you mentioned it, CYBERSHOKE has already had a bit of a warm-up today, so that gives them a little bit of an advantage. If they can use that to good use as we go for a very, very standard 2-2-1 split. A little bit of information gathering out towards the B extremity. See if we can find anything early on there. Looks like they might even lean for this A end. So they'll want to make a little bit of noise. Try and pull some of those rotations away.
If I'm not mistaken as well, Sashi have also played against NIP Impact, and they also did play on Mirage. They picked into it. A little bit easier of a game. It was 13 threes on both maps, but still a warm-up nonetheless. Similar to CYBERSHOKE. Maybe different dynamics, but this T-Pistol round, not going great. Iceberg and Lucky have basically just killed people in the side of the head, and we're already into a 5 versus 3 where it's just not looking good whatsoever for the CT side. And for the T side, sure, Lovicus will get one back. Phenomenon will actually catch a Zyphon off guard, so at least we're getting some revenge for the shooting in the side of the head. But this seems like a pretty good round for Sashi and a great start for them on their CT expedition.
Yeah, it kind of felt like CYBERSHOKE were struggling to pull the trigger and actually like commit to something. You know, there was kind of a lot of just feeling out the map a little bit. And to Sashi's advantage, obviously, they don't get like overly or unnecessarily aggressive. They just kind of allow that space to be taken, kind of move in a little bit. And then, as you said, CYBERSHOKE just not seemingly looking where they need to be looking and getting caught unawares. So unfortunately, that's going to be a pretty simple round that goes in favor of Sashi. Definitely not the way that CYBERSHOKE would have wanted it to end off. And no bomb planted as well, which makes it that much more difficult to come into this next round, and the economy could potentially suffer for it. I am interested in the fact that Iceberg is still rocking the dualies. Feels to me like we could be saving up for the AWP.
Big green.
Hell yeah. Boomstick, as I like to call it.
The boomstick. That's some.
Yeah.
That's some Kenny S. That's some old school. Sweet
What?
Jesus. Okay. Good
Sure.
evening. Good evening, Iceberg. Says Lovicus. Yeah. There's literally one non-Glock in this round, and it's that Deagle. And sure, it's already been put to excellent use. Or probably still will come out next round. But unfortunately, no armor being saved. Lovicus has got 2 kills, and Notaneki has got 1. This has been a very expensive round, and what terrifies me is the prospect that this isn't over. Like, more damage still can be applied. We've got Phenomenon picking up a FAMAS. Notaneki's picked up that cover to Deagle. It's got the golden touch to it. Whoever uses it seems to just shoot pure gold. And for Sashi, it's all about just like, can we keep this clean? And, well, potentially, can we even still win this round?
Yeah, unfortunately, both teams in a bit of a tight spot in terms of what they have to play with, right? Obviously, CYBERSHOKE came into this with very little. I must admit, you know, even when you have better weaponry, watching 3 players come running down the ramp towards you is somewhat terrifying. But now they start making their way in towards this A site. First player gets spotted. Okay. Bit of a spray transfer. Easy peasy. Quick as you like. Couldn't manage to swing on one another. That would have been quite the heroic round. But 3 kills. Yeah, it's nothing to turn your nose up at. Doing that little bit of economic damage. And now into this round, they'll actually have some guns. So we'll see if things start to piece themselves together a bit better.
I mean, 100%, that is a massive victory in the eyes of CYBERSHOKE. That Deagle paying back itself 17-fold. That's what you love to see. But the AWP is out. Wonder if CYBERSHOKE anticipate this. They heard Julie's and maybe they think that, oh, we heard the Julie someone's saving for an AWP. It's definitely a dangerous equity to have on the board against your first gun round. And mid control now slowly being gained. Cabby's been left in ladder room. You have Zyphon over on top con. And Lucky, interestingly, has pivoted over towards short with the AWP. This is a nice setup for the CT side, all things considered.
And I think that the Julies never had a chance to actually make a sound in the previous round because
it did
hit
a few times.
Oh, did it?
That's why it died.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, yeah. Alright, first kill to come through. Fairly simple. There's still a lot of our CYBERSHOKE guys in mid. Nice flash. Oh, even better. Not looking where you need to be looking. Not expecting that the T's have pushed up so far into your own territory. Now they start moving towards that B site. Bomb is a little bit far away. There is a smoke there for that cross, but gonna have to be careful with it as now Lopez starts pushing in towards this B site. Can't get the shots to connect, but Glowing is there and Phenom to create a crossfire can cover it up. And the bomb will make its way in onto the site and should get planted. Last 2 players for Sashi, quite separated from one another. Have to keep this as clean as possible. Molotov pushes him forward, but that's okay. He will get that first kill. Now Zyphon looking for a second. Smells blood in the water, but it's him that loses his life. Now Eltex has to somehow 1v2. This is the bomb ticks away, and he cannot even get the first. And finally, round 3 will go to CYBERSHOKE.
Pretty poor round for Sashi there. I don't know why we're letting Cabby get isolated like he did. I thought Lucky was going to hold more of a sharper line to try and play in tandem with Cabby, but both of them just end up playing very separated. And I don't know, it wasn't a surprise that Cabby died there, you know, like he heard them running into ladder, he gets the kill from window and then just almost doesn't know what to do. Maybe thinks that his short's being held for, maybe thinks that Lucky is giving him some more coverage than he actually is, but ultimately around where the ult's being pulled out, nothing's been produced because of it. And CYBERSHOKE, that was just really simple. They just flash into ladder, scale up short, have pressure coming from B apartments, and Sashi, even though they are in the position to deal with it, just get isolated super easily.
It's important to not allow too many of those 1v1s. Want to try to double up as much as possible. For now, classic window smoke. Very, very passive on this round from CYBERSHOKE. Not looking to give over too much information early on. They're going for that info starve. So far, it does seem to be working out. Some nice smokes laying down. Because not finding anything in window here. They'll refresh the smoke. The HE to come through. Oh, that's chunky. And Blixie around the corner there follows it up beautifully. Iceberg burns, melts in the flames at his feet. And, well, the 1 or 2 guns that they had in this round are now gone. So it's a bit of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, very similar round, to be honest, with CYBERSHOKE. It's a nice change up for Sashi. I think they boosted both players into ladder early. But yeah, look, it was a very weird perking to the round where like, on the anti-eco, they only keep 2 players alive. So when they lose that first gun round, they just don't really have any money in the reserve. And this is CYBERSHOKE with Federman on AWP really early on, with them breaking the economy of Sashi, on their map pick, starting to get going on Mirage. On the T side, and I feel like that's a very dangerous thought process when Fenneman, Loverkiss, Glowing are all starting to churn out some kills. I've seen CYBERSHOKE turn into this kind of steam train that you just can't stop.
Well, so far, so good. First couple of rounds were a bit odd, but they've managed to bounce back quite nicely. And obviously this being a full anti-eco, I mean, there's not too much that we're going to expect from Sashi to get out of this. Hopefully, yeah, a weapon upgrade would be phenomenal. But things are looking a bit rough in that regard. So by the end of this round, CYBERSHOKE will have picked up the lead. Be feeling pretty comfortable in that one. For Sashi, they'll be able to buy back in, but it's going to be leaving them on some kind of uneven ground where they're, you know, starting to kind of run away from them, and they have to be really snappy, really clean, and can't allow too much to go wrong, lest their economy become an absolute disaster zone. So for them, I think winning this round becomes important to stay in contestation, but it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all round.
I'm just quite intrigued about how we plan to fight mid here, because CYBERSHOKE have been taking it quite methodically, and Sashi so far have put a lot of emphasis towards short. We don't necessarily have to fight for mid, we can just play the bomb sites, and, oh, interesting enough actually, CYBERSHOKE are not. Okay, no, they are going to fall back. I think there was an early pick that was, yeah, Fenneman went for an early pick towards B, and we will scale back into this 2 underpass, 2 top mid take. Sashi have 2 players towards top connector right now, and it looks like we will be giving up mid control, not maybe necessarily actively fighting for it, until Cabby gets into connector on this close angle, and Zyphon's jiggling for him. This is the change that I was interested in seeing.
Oh, great molly there, but oh wow, okay, Zyphon actually manages to help Cabby to escape, and Levicus loses his life in that exchange, so now Sashi do have a slight advantage in terms of numbers, but Glowing pushes straight through the smoke and will quickly take that back. However, Iceberg has an absolutely fantastic shot. I think that was like around a smoke somewhere. So they've managed to bring themselves back up to 4 versus 2.
Oh, the Molo and nade miss. That would have done so much, but instead, Blixie able to do it with his brawn. Federman providing perfect overwatch. Cabby now shaking in his boots. I don't know if they know he's towards market, and they definitely know about Zyphon now. And yeah, they seem very aware of this market presence. It shall be confirmed by a spam from Cabby. Question is, will they anticipate Zyphon's re-rotation around to market? Nade comes out from the seaside. Good damage on the Federman, but Blixie takes matters into his own hands. Wait, what? Zyphon just lines them up.
Lined up.
They lined up perfectly. And Zyphon, I said this guy was pretty good, and he's just exhibited why.
I mean, so there's this awkward shoulder peek, not expecting someone to be holding that wide angle, and Zyphon just swings on it. And somehow, both of CYBERSHOKE's players are just lined up perfectly for him to finish that up. That should have been a CYBERSHOKE round. When things, you know, when it came to that 2 versus 2, it was 4 versus 2 for a while for Sashi, and then a great entry in onto the site, despite some missed utility, allows them to bring it to a 2v2, bomb planted, they get themselves into a good spot, they have a little bit of time to position themselves, and it's starting to feel like, well, that should be your round. But a slight positioning error allows Zyphon to win a round that could very easily have gone the other way. We're back to a 3-3 scoreline, and the fight in mid goes Glowing's way off the back of a great flash. He gets another one with the assistance from Not Naked for the 3rd, and suddenly only 2 players remain standing for Sashi.
Well, that was fast. Iceberg double again? He's rotated correctly.
Ooh.
Jesus. Yeah, that's the issue when you're playing against Team CYBERSHOKE. It's like Glowing running out mid. The previous, he just jumped through a short smoke. This round, even though I think insta-dink Lovicus, he's still able just to snap onto you. And sure, Zyphon, that was a massive clutch to be collecting. But you now go into this next round. So far, we haven't lost a single player, and it will continue in that way. Lucky out for the count, and CYBERSHOKE, it feels like for me right now, when it comes to the gun rounds, they are looking way better than Sashi on Mirage.
Oh, for real. I mean, it's been so clean. And Fenneman was someone that you'd mentioned. And when he kind of has had those AWP moments, it has been fantastic. He hasn't had the opportunity for too many of them, because Glowing, our obviously our player to watch for this evening.
Oh, we've missed the window smoke. Sorry.
Wow, missed it really badly as well. Goodness me.
It hit the wall, yeah. It just didn't get over the ledge. It's like me
That's
for
rough.
real. It's like, guys, I'm smoking window. They smoked T-spawn, guys.
Somewhat relatable.
I still think pro players are using some of the old lineups from, because there was like a weird patch in the jump lineups and jump throws, and some of the old lineups don't work. And I saw one today where the old CT smoke lineup on Anubis, if you throw it from outside elbow, you know, obviously it used to go CT. Now it actually smoke elbow perfectly. Obviously that's where you are, so you don't want to smoke yourself off. And it's really funny to see when it first got patched, when that update first came in, everyone was just smoking themselves off elbow. And I saw it today for the first time in ages, and just 3 people running through it, all dying. It was just like, what is going on?
Oh, sometimes you got to keep up with the times, guys. Unfortunately, got to be aware of those things. I've also noticed that you are so unforgiving when it comes to missed util. I love it. It's very entertaining. But it is a thing. So players beware. If you miss some util, Freddy will find you.
I think I just have expectations of, like, open teams have good util, right? So it's like ESL challenger teams should have perfect. Yeah, like util's one of those things where it doesn't matter if you're talented mechanically. Like, just learn util. Anyways, speaking of talented gifted, Glowing's 12 and 3. 12 and 3, and he's got another entry in mid. We're on the A-bomb site.
I mean, I was kind of talking about him before the whole missed smoke thing, but yeah, player to watch. We do be watching. Although, Lavicus is not that far behind, sitting at 11 and 4. Like, these two players have been on an absolute heater so far this evening. They have put in so much work. I don't want to downplay the rest of the team. They're all kind of doing their thing, but it's really hard to get your knocks in when someone else is just doing that much more. So CYBERSHOKE now bring themselves up to that 6th round. They've confirmed that they will, at the very least, have a tied half. But I think they're going to push for quite a lot more than that. For Sashi, I mean, their money after this round is devastating. It's an absolute disaster area. Yes, they do have some decent loss streak bonus to work with, but long term, things are looking dire for them. I don't know how many more buys they're going to be able to scrape together unless they can actually win a round.
This is just it's just one of those games where it feels like CYBERSHOKE have picked up steam, and it's like, damn, they're not slowing down. Like, they're out for it. Something that was obviously a theme with the old CYBERSHOKE roster was, everyone could probably step up. And I think they've accentuated that fact further by putting Blixie on anchor. Well, he was an anchor previously on Aurora Youngblood, but it's like, your anchor's one of your most individually talented players. Like, that is so scary. And you see that a lot in this kind of style of in this level of Counter-Strike of anchors being your best players mechanically sometimes. And I think Glowing was a massive impact pickup, and it's like, it's easy to say that when he's 13 and 3 now, but his on 1.9 pan, his dude was cracked, and so far in CYBERSHOKE he's averaged like a 1.15 rating, and it's like, I think CYBERSHOKE have added experience, they've added consistency and firepower, and these young guys like Fenneman, who are very inexperienced, are only getting more experience. So CYBERSHOKE are a dangerous piece going in the future.
Whole 2 rounds left in this half. Not very much to Sashi. Not very much to work with for Sashi. And as mentioned, unless they can win a round here, Economy is going to be in dire straits. Already so much early chip damage. An aggressive push up ramp that they are expecting, but not expecting enough, I suppose. And Zyphon, along with Iceberg, will very quickly not only even out the numbers, but allow themselves a lead as well. Unfortunately, Lucky does get caught out. It's getting a little bit too eager. Now with only 2 players left for Sashi, Bomb is on the other side of the map. Bomb is headed to B while 2 players make noise on A. I mean, this is...
It's just taking its time.
I was going to call this the perfect bait if the bomb had just gone to B and then they'd done a wraparound, but I mean, this works too, right? You have control of the site, so bomb can come and potentially get planted.
What?
That was great. That POV was fantastic.
I suppose walking in like, oh, there goes my teammate. Look, the fact that's a 4v3 and, you know, that's the way that it goes. You have, unfortunately, glowing there. I think it's the classic, wait, did I actually see someone else? Or am I just, like, tripping? Like, what, like, did I see someone? Oh, yeah, he's there and he's killed me. But it's like the fact that CYBERSHOKE, they don't care that they've lost their mid presence. Blixie's still running connector. You've still got, I think it was Notaneki putting pressure in Palace. Like, you're still just going for it. You stick to the plan, you never waver, and Sashi just don't know how to react to this right now. This was pistol round victory, and I think the second gun round one for Sashi. That's all they've got. This has been utter domination. And that gun round was also a 1v2 for Sashi, but apart from that, it's all been CYBERSHOKE. This is very disappointing to see for Sashi so far, because it's a team that I would put as favorites going into this matchup.
Well, still map 1. So there's certainly a chance. But for this particular map, although who knows, maybe their T side is absolutely out of this world, but they're not going to have too much of a T side. At least not if they lose this round. Now they've opened it up quite nicely. That gives them an opportunity to potentially springboard. And I do like that they took that more aggressive stance, right? That gives so much information about the map in general. So it tells them how they can kind of move their pieces around a bit more and control the space.
Ooh, okay, I was going to say, this would have been a perfect play if Lovicus gets baited in connector, but instead it's actually shut down. Finally, a resurgence from Sashi. I've been asking for it, and we finally get it. They get a 4th at the end of the first half. Is this something more? We'll find out in the second half.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
An unexpected final round will net Sashi a 4th and allow them a little bit more room to breathe on the second half. Things were looking a little bit dicey on that first, but with FAMASAs in tow, they were able to make the scoreline that little bit more competitive. A pistol round here would be a huge game changer for them. We'll see if they can manage to pull that under their belt.
Yeah, look, 8-4 half, super revivable for Sashi. This pistol round, though, not looking great so far. Phenomen picks off 2 already. He's under Bauk. How's he just got away as well for free? This is criminal. Off to a fantastic start. And he just adds on another to top it all off. This round isn't over yet. 2 versus 2. 2 versus 1. Blixie has just rotated in from the B-bomb site, and all his teammates have fallen. Lucky and Zyphon on a tear. We've seen Zyphon already clutch up once in this game, but unfortunately, Blixie, it's his time to shine. Dual Berettas and Zyphon adding some distance. We know this guy can clutch up, and he gets put down to 2 HP, but that's all he needs, because the last round in the first half and the pistol round in the second half means Sashi are back in play here on Mirage.
Unbelievably close, and for Phenomen to go so hard so early on in the round and just not get cleared at all, to follow it up with that 3rd kill onto the Palace player when his position surely was known by that point, but unfortunately, you know, Sashi under so much pressure to actually get in onto the site. And then Zyphon just returns fire. And this again comes down to that like individual skill really showing up. And for Sashi, winning that pistol round is such a huge difference maker for them, because of course they're able to buy in now, and they've brought that deficit down to only 3 rounds. Another round here will make this more than doable. However, Eltex jumps straight out a window, gets his head blown off, and just, okay, free kill, we take those. We'll see if CYBERSHOKE can do that a little bit more economic damage in this one.
It's all about how many casualties can we take away. We didn't see much impact from Lucky on the C side with the AWP. You know, he's sitting on 6 kills. He got 2 of them in the pistol round just there. So 4 kills on your CT side of Mirage as the AWPer. Well, having the AWP out in the first gun round immediately, it's not quite good enough. And I think that's a big reason as to why they ended up losing the half 8-4. And with Phenomen getting 3 kills in the first pistol round, a kill there, he actually has money to not just glass cannon, but buy an AWP and Kevlar. And I am quite worried about the prospects of Sashi. If Phenomen is already starting to hit his shots, not only on the series, but in this half specifically, even on the AWP, it doesn't paint a good picture for Sashi, and I think he should be a big difference maker. I'm also interested to see where Glowing plays on Mirage. I haven't seen CYBERSHOKE play Mirage yet, and I would assume it's either towards Connector or Short, and yeah, looks like he's going to be the comp player. So with him and Phenomen both playing fantastically and being this like mid-duo, yeah, that's not a nice showing for me to Sashi. That's a recipe for disaster.
We'll see, because for now, Phenomen's playing over towards A. But obviously, sightlines in towards mid. So if anybody walks that way, should be able to, if not get the kill, at least hand that information over. Nothing giving just yet. Sashi also don't want to get caught out too early on. They have their positions known too early, but they are running down this clock. We've gone just under a minute now, and we're finally starting to explore in towards this A site. Util out. Oh, Glowing wasn't in a position to get hit by the flash, but that's okay. He's getting walked up on. His back is turned. Just gonna let him get away. Phenomen's been caught, however, and that finally, through the murder hole, he will actually get taken down. Last one here. Phenomen still alive with that AWP. Only gets the 1 shot, however, as the bomb's been planted on the other side of the map. It was all a ruse. And now they want to try and take these guns away. Stealing away that AWP could be huge for them, but if you keep lining it up, he will keep knocking it down, and it might just be the right call here for Sashi to just go, you know what? Yeah, we'll take the win.
The economy isn't... Okay, fair enough. They'll take it. That's really good, actually. I was going to say the economy isn't robust, and it's like, yeah, we probably don't want to go for hunting kills here. But the fact they do and keep 3 alive, massive. That's going to be no substantial... just nothing substantial in this next round for CYBERSHOKE. And it feels like we gave Sashi a lot of respect in middle there. And just a lot of respect all around the map. Venom not really able to get any impact going with the AWP until the dying embers of the round. And look, we're in ladder room. We're on the B bomb site. We're upstairs. Like, we're everywhere. And CYBERSHOKE haven't even spotted us out yet. Feels like, yeah, we just gave them way too much space to work with. And already, they're starting to close down that space a little bit. There's 5 players coming into the B apartments. Blixie's found 2 with the 5-7. But look at this underpass push from Venom. 3 players are all in front of him, but they've all cascaded out of apartments. There's an AK for him to pick up on, well, either of these dead bodies that are in front of him. Lucky, though, comes to clear behind. Venom had no armor and was yet to pick up an AK. Very unfortunate, but a magnificent timing from Lucky, which turns this round from being, hey, we might lose to the pistols, to, okay, take a deep breath.
I think Lucky's spidey sense was tingling there, and just in the nick of time. And a part of me is wondering if maybe, you know, off the back of the 3 kills in the pistol round and then the extra kill in round 2, if maybe Sashi weren't thinking like, it's probably got an AWP. We should play slow, try to kind of block him out as much as possible, deny sightlines, and then it'll be a much easier task for us. Not necessarily easy, but, you know, if you make it more difficult for Venom to get that value, then you give yourselves a huge stepping stone. So I gotta wonder if that was maybe part of the thought process, and it did obviously work out quite nicely, and it boosted them onto a chain of rounds, which has now got them to an evened out scoreline. And I'd wondered if maybe the T side was where we would see Sashi come to life, and lo and behold, they are finally showing why they were potentially considered a favorite to come out on top of this series. But Venom now has AWP in hand again, and he's going for a bit more of a cheeky play in towards mid. And again, Sashi not giving him those sights.
Look at Cabby, though. He just walked out to the A-bomb site. Luckily, both Notaneki and Glowing seem to be aware of this issue. Venom as well catches off the 1 player in top mid, and CYBERSHOKE not giving any space to Sashi in this round. Iceberg potentially has the key to victory, but looks like we're getting a repeat of the first half again in this round. Lovicus just drive-bys him, and Altex with the bomb on his back in B apartments, looking around going, where are all my teammates gone? Because they've all just died within a snap of our fingers. You blink and you miss it type beat. And, okay, that was a little bit better from CYBERSHOKE, right?
Yeah, I think the way that they coordinated that was really good. I like the fact that Venom takes that kind of more aggressive position in towards mid. The Palace under main area play was potentially going to get a bit spaghetti, but they managed to play off of each other quite nicely. They swing out at just the right time, and the timing is such an important part of that. So it just works out really beautifully that all of that happens kind of within the space of a few seconds. And at that point, it's basically just cleanup. I say that. We have seen some rounds that looked like they should have been cleanup get way closer than they should have done. But CYBERSHOKE will confirm and get their first round of this half. It's been 4 rounds back-to-back for Sashi, but I always say round 5 is your momentum shifter. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going, because for Sashi, of course, having won all those rounds, they still have that little bit of cash in the bank. They've been close rounds, so they don't have as much money as they'd like, but they're still able to buy into this one. So CYBERSHOKE can't afford to rest on their laurels just yet.
Very aggressive play towards ramp, and Altex, sure, he hasn't had a great game, but that's the easiest pickup so far for him on Mirage. Notaneki just walks into his crosshair, basically. Mid, we've completely given it up. Blixie, he's also given up the B bomb site, playing deep shorts. Needs to be aware of apartments, and he's very cautious of short because he's got Lobicus in ladder room, and now they come stampeding out of the apartments. He has nowhere to go, tucked and blocked into that corner. Iceberg leads by example, spearheading his offensive onto the bomb site and not allowing CYBERSHOKE to double down after they had just won their first round in this second half.
It's a great response from Sashi. Don't allow this to turn into a momentum builder, but rather stop it in its tracks as quickly as possible. I doubt that they'll go for too much of a hunt here. Again, their economy is not in the best position, and they want to set themselves up for some solid long-term success. So rather take the risk, knowing that the AWP and 3 of those AKs will go into the next round, but know that you bring your AKs, quite a good smattering of utility, and some of that armor into the next as well. So they'll be feeling a lot more comfortable with that one. 9-9. Around and around we go, a little bit back and forth, and we are seeing CYBERSHOKE take their very first, in fact, the very first timeout of the series.
Yeah, I think if there's ever a timeout to be used, I would have assumed that Sashi would have used one by now. But I think this is perfect timing for CYBERSHOKE. That, look, this second half, it's not been going great for them. They've been losing on a lot of different fronts, and the one round they did win was when they sure got a few kills handed to them on a platter on A, but it was definitely a sentiment of we fought mid and we didn't let them come to us. We played our game, we didn't let them play their game, and we try to react to it. We started the round off proactively, and that's how we went about proceedings. In the last round, sure, they did try that with Notaneki being flashed towards ramp. I'm just not sure if we're gonna take the extremities. Maybe we should put a little bit more emphasis in middle early and then fall back and then take extremities. Don't just fall into extremities, because it ends up being a little bit more predictable, just like they found out in that round. And now, well, they're going for extremity play once again, this time towards B. Unfortunately, the bomb's outside A, and so are 3 players.
This does give them a bit of potential for encirclement. We'll see if they take that space. Unfortunately, losing Blixie so early on, getting that aggressive this early in the round. He's literally in CT spawn at this point. And it gets followed up by Zyphon as well. So they have almost complete control of this B site now. The question is, are they aware of that player in apps? And surely they must have an inkling. Oh, so close, but not able to confirm that kill. And that's all she wrote, I'd say.
Yeah, this is a very disappointing showing from CYBERSHOKE on their map pick, on their CT side. Not liking what I'm seeing so far. And I don't think it comes down to an individual. It feels like a big systemic problem more than, oh, this guy's not hitting his shots or this person's playing wrong. It's like they're just calls off the spawn of how we want to approach the rounds that are giving Sashi way too much space. And then because we're focusing elsewhere, we're allowing Iceberg to walk into ladder room and into CT at like a minute, 20 seconds. And yeah, no one saves. This is a completely different Sashi and CYBERSHOKE than what we saw from the first half.
Yeah. And I think just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying about how it's not like a player, it's not about hitting your shots. I mean, the CYBERSHOKE players are all having individually, in terms of their mechanics, really solid performances. But it's a team game, right? And it's such a meme thing to say, but it really is the truth, right? You all have to be firing on not only your mechanical cylinders, but your micro, your macro, your communication, your understanding, your protocols. Like, everything has to be on point. You can't just come down to 5 players that can hit shots. Unfortunately, at this level, that stops being a huge marker for success. And so now CYBERSHOKE's economy starts to look a little bit dicey, and Sashi kind of teeing themselves up to get up to that 11th round, which would put them at their biggest lead. No, not their biggest lead. Their biggest lead. No, it will be. It'll be their biggest lead. It just won't be their biggest streak so far in this map. So, and of course that takes them up to well beyond the double-digit mark. So for CYBERSHOKE, this is a pretty important round to come out on top of.
Yeah, I mean, this is back on the purchase. They've got the AWP power, even though they didn't save anyone in the previous. They've got the money to work with. They've been doing pretty well at maintaining a decent economy, but look at this from Iceberg. He's just walked into connector. Oh, there's no one holding, and he's just backstabbed Fenneman. In the meantime, Zyphon also got a kill from middle. They've got confirmation of glowing in top mid, and they know Notaneki's towards CT. Molo in towards Sniper doesn't allow Blixie on that fast rotation. Bomb needs to get planted, and Iceberg is making sure that is possible. Both players CT now for CYBERSHOKE, and Notaneki, okay, spam straight through the boxes. 2 versus 2. Sashi, they're in the know. Triple and stairs. We're swinging out, but Iceberg, he is having a round and a half. 3 kills already, and he's looking for more. Notaneki, well, up against his adversary. Iceberg needs to get a forfeit. He needs the clutch shot, and with only 14 HP, it's child's work.
I must admit, though, there was no kit on board there, so even if he had died, I think there was a really good chance that Sashi still win out that round. But that was another example. I mean, funnily enough, that looks a lot like what we saw from Sashi early on, right? Like, not being aware of where players are moving and, you know, how the map is playing out, not having that information, not having people looking to the right places to make sure that you're not getting flanked in on. It's another perfect example of that, and CYBERSHOKE just kind of start to crumble because of an early kill from a player that gets into a position that he never should have been able to get in for free.
Oh, I'm definitely scared for CYBERSHOKE. Somehow an all power again, but we're just going for these relentless repurchases. Utility kind of scathed because of it. MP9 on Blixie is never a nice sign. And Sashi have a lot of space to work out on the A-bomb side if they choose to do so. All of the emphasis is turned towards middle, and I don't blame them. Iceberg has been the bane of their existence. Same with Zyphon, just being tormenting, or yeah, just tormenting them in middle. And now, at about 50 seconds, CYBERSHOKE at the perfect time actually reset onto the bomb site, but Glowing will reset right into the Molotov. Notaneki out in the open. He's got no support whatsoever. 4 players are going to be dropping on into him. Will they clear him? Will they potentially overlook him? No. Iceberg acute as ever, and Lovicus, as he peers his head around the smoke, an instantaneous trade. Sure, Fenneman is able to catch off the lurk, and Blixie is actually in CT. That might not be anticipated. Oh, it's definitely not anticipated, and Altex gets legged from short. Blixie, this round is his. Low HP, the max, but MP9 can't do it through the box, but Cabby kills his teammate, and now Cabby, with only 20 HP, up against Fenneman, USP at range, is successful. What in tarnation just went on?
I mean, that was pure chaos. The fact that the MP9 gets so much done there when there are 3 players hanging out towards long there, and they're trying so hard to kind of duck and dive, but the pepper ability of the MP9 comes into such like strong display there, because Blixie gets both of them down unbelievably low, to the point where, as you pointed out, one of them actually dies to a team Molotov. And then for Fenneman, yes, he's retaking with an AWP, but he should be somewhat cognizant of the fact that the last player should be relatively low, so you can pull out that USP and he can land that shot and get that defuse in a situation where it should never have happened. They've given themselves a slight stay of execution, but Lucky looks to pull that prize from their hands. Unfortunately for Sashi, they're taking a lot of early chip damage. CYBERSHOKE, I was going to say, it felt like a bit of an overreaction, putting so many players into mid in that previous round, but now I think that they're handling it a lot more, I don't know, a lot better, I suppose. Yeah, they've got more ways to rotate when and if necessary.
Yeah, I'm shocked that that round was won, and it could really come to cost Sashi, because they lose this, they have no money. It's 11-11. Notaneki, not a fan of that reaggression, and now Fenneman, alongside Glowing, kind of stuck in this awkward predicament with Altex peering in from Palace. Fenneman, close range with the AWP. You've got to be kidding me. A scope onto the second. This man can do no wrong, but Altex, it's his time to shine. He's had a very slow game so far, birthing himself over 10 kills as I speak, a 1 versus 1, but he does not know where Blixie is. And now as the dust settles, a good Molotov, Blixie has to reside behind it. Issue is Altex has to pick up the bomb, and the Molo is going to fade when the bomb gets collected. So if Altex wants to head back towards A, he has to reveal himself to Blixie, and oh my god, we're going around in circles. It's Altex going into ladder, and he turns around, anticipating Blixie to be coming from behind, and Altex just clutches a massive round for Sashi.
There were so many moments in that round that had question marks hovering around my head like an anime character. So you had all three of your CYBERSHOKE players chilling towards mid. And again, I was just talking about how this kind of mid hold was better than the one before it. But again, it felt like they kind of overstayed their welcome a little bit. They put too many resources for too long, and they didn't kind of have the forethought, the realization that there could be that push towards A instead. And Fenneman, I mean, what that man is able to do with an AWP is absolutely out of this world. And despite that, they're still not able to make it happen. Now Sashi on map point, looking to just push straight into this side. Now instantly we have a trade come through. So much damage chips in onto Sashi. CYBERSHOKE are ready and waiting for this. And Fenneman, even without an AWP in his hands, he can still make magic happen. Brings it down to a 2 versus 2 here. Clear advantage for CYBERSHOKE, but Sashi can cut noise here, and they've got options.
Options being slowly eradicated as Fenneman, as mentioned on the rifle, this guy knows how to use this weapon, and he just does not let go of W. Blixie as well, this time not losing a clutch, as CYBERSHOKE potentially verging on overtime. That was a very scrappy round. The defense just about held together towards A, but it's that proactivity in the 2 versus 2 to mobilize and cut Sashi off before they can even get towards the B-bomb site.
I think all in all, not a terrible round. And I love the realization from CYBERSHOKE that when Sashi disengage in that 2v2, it's not going to be a case of them kind of just being quiet and then pushing into the site all over again. They kind of realize that this is likely to be a rotation all the way towards either mid or B. So they push out, get into mid, and they cut off that rotation very, very early before it has a chance to actually activate or get anything done. So it's a good cutoff point there. And again, I mean, they generally tend to reinforce this A site quite heavily. So for Sashi, I almost want to see them go for something a bit more towards B this time around. And looks like that might actually be the play. Big brain? No. Bomb's headed towards A, so potentially just going to make a bit of noise over on the B side. Look at this change from CYBERSHOKE again. I mean, they've had so many rounds where they were holding mid. Now they've got 2 players towards Palace waiting for something crazy to happen, something different. I love that they're trying to be dynamic.
This is certainly something different from the T side, because we've got 2 coming up con. We've got 1 Palace, 1 Round. Glowing has no idea where to look, but he's still able to get 1. Not an Eki at range cannot deal with Cabby. A 4 versus 4. Both teams have 1 player on low HP, but look at Fenneman. This guy, he's just creeping behind you. Bomb dropped. The second... not dealt with, but regardless, he has the bomb. He knows where 1 is. Cabby, he's trying to fight his way out on A, and I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very improbable. Iceberg might catch off Fenneman potentially if he plays his timings right, but a lot of signs right now are pointing towards overtime on Mirage.
It feels like we got 3 potential 1v1s all around the world here. Nice. Altex catches Blixie off guard. That could be a free weapon upgrade, and that causes Lovikus to have to pull back because he realizes there's someone potentially behind him. A great push from Iceberg will take out Fenneman. They'll be able to pick up the bomb, but do they have enough time to actually get in towards the site? It's slowly ticking down. Lovikus has time to rotate in Doesn't look like he'll be able to stop that bomb from planting, but in a 1 versus 2, how much can he realistically get done here? He has to come up huge if he wants to take this into overtime, because if he loses this round, then they lose their map pick. So everything here has to be perfect. Catches the first, but now his position is known. Last one, kind of unknown, but he manages to spot it. A great little headshot angle there. The defuse to come through, and we are going to overtime.
What?
Right.
Oh my god, the whole round is just so bad from everyone. Like, what's CYBERSHOKE doing in the 3 versus 3? You have the bomb down in TV. You know there's one palace. You know there's one jungle. And there's one unknown. Fair enough. And then you die from palace. You're allowing jungle to get another one. And I'm looking at CYBERSHOKE. I'm like, why aren't we all just going to the bomb? Why don't we just push ramp? Why don't we just play 3 towards T-spawn? But instead, it's Sashi who are able to do disgusting things on timings. Unlucky to Fenomen, to be fair. Like, he just gets left out to dry by his teammates. And then what are we doing in the 2v1? We have apartments control. Or we've mollowed it at least. We have deep market control. Where can he be coming from? There's literally 3 places, and we've got 2 of them under control. And instead, we just allow him to ice it the 1v1s with 1 player back turned. That felt like the most simple clutch in Lovicus's career, and I'm just honestly astounded that we're in overtime for so many different reasons.
I think our teams can probably relate to a certain extent. I think for CYBERSHOKE, they're definitely going to be feeling the heat on this one, because they had such a good start to this map, and things have just kind of fallen to the wayside. And I just want to give a quick update for anyone who's interested in what's going on our B stream. So that's Namiga versus Fireflux. The last time that I checked in, our stream was at like 9 to 9-ish, or 9 to 8. Their stream was at 10 to 2 in favor of Namiga. Fireflux are busy mounting somewhat of a comeback, and they've brought it up to 11 to 7. So
that's 6 in a row. 4 in a row. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure second pistol was won by Namiga, and I was just like, oh, I think Khan got like a 4K, and I was like, yeah, it's game over. So, okay, that's exciting. 11 to 7 now. Ooh, let's go.
Maybe they'll also get an OT. Who knows?
Hey, this is my 3rd round of OT for CYBERSHOKE today.
Oh man, you had
injecting it.
OTs earlier today as well with the same team.
I've seen a lot of CYBERSHOKE today, and I'm McLovin' it.
Alright. 5-person pistol push through apartments. Didn't I? Yeah, I suppose, yeah. It doesn't stop Cabby from potentially doing some nonsense, but the rest of the team does get stalled out, so could potentially be walking into an AWP here, and you can feel the tension.
It's palpable.
It really is. It feels like you could cut it with a knife, waiting for someone to just peek out. It's going to be Iceberg. He's doing the same shenanigans all over again. Brother, you cannot keep allowing him to do this. Thankfully for CYBERSHOKE, they will trade back 2 kills of their own, but now Fenomen is under some pressure, or at least he believes himself to be. Might not be aware that Sashi have opted to pull back and head over towards that A site instead. But Fenomen has done his job. He got that kill. They know the AWP is there. And now Sashi will be forced to rotate over. There's players lying in wait here. Lovicus knows that they're pushing in. Here's the footsteps. You get this timing. All right, they're doubled up. He swings wide and he gets deleted. Now with only 2 players left from CYBERSHOKE. Unfortunately not planting in a position where the HE would give them sights to actually deny. This retake suddenly got a lot more difficult.
Okay, not an Eki. Fenomen gives him the AWP and he just hits that. Why is Fenomen AWPing? And that nade, unfortunately, sails to nothing. Same with the Molotov. Both Sashi players are currently situated towards CT. There's a nade on Altex as well, and to be honest, that might just be the difference maker in this round, as both players are very low, and tentatively, they shall be escaping. I don't actually think Fenneman or Notaneki are going to get away with their lives. Certainly not Fenneman, and yeah, he falls. Altex does as well, but Sashi, like, yeah, cool, we don't mind losing a player, and oof, that round goes from being terrifying to really good for Sashi.
But didn't Notaneki have the AWP?
Yeah, well, it's better to keep the AK. Like, you have the money to buy up the AWP, but the AK you obviously can't rebuy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. Oh man, that's a round that just kind of turns to spaghetti so quickly. Felt like CYBERSHOKE really had an opportunity there. Sashi now once again with a lead. Very tenacious team. Very scrappy. This is going for an exploratory mission out in towards mid. Not managing to find anything just yet. And again, Sashi have got a strong presence towards B. Is somebody watching underpass? No, they're not, and it's Iceberg again. How they keep letting him get away with this, I don't know. I mean, he does this so often. Surely at some point somebody's like, can we just keep eyes for that? Can we be aware that that's going to happen? Because he just consistently keeps getting the most outrageous kills unchecked.
Well, let's see what Blixie can do. I've had this guy up as an anchor, and honestly,
I mean, yeah.
That's a rough one there. Probably could have hit the first bill on Iceberg, and maybe then would have been able to switch over to Cabby, but Iceberg just drags across there so far away with his sporadic movement and unsuspecting presence on Blixie. And to be honest, with that kill onto Blixie, it's like the round is just over. Accentuated further by Lovicus being caught in apartments. I would see this retake as being nigh impossible. And it's going to be a save. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to save this. You don't really get any... There's no positives in it, and you even lose the AWP anyway. But hey, you saved the AK 2 rounds in a row. Issue is, Sashi are on 14, and if I'm CYBERSHOKE, I'm sitting there being like, guys, we had the game in the palm of our hands, and it feels like we've let this one slip a little bit.
So, here's my crazy theory. If CYBERSHOKE win this round, they can win the map. Because they're going to head on to their T side, and their T side is where they actually did pretty darn well. But if they lose this round, then they either lose the game because they're mental booms, or we go into another overtime, which I know is exactly the thing that you were hoping to hear this evening.
Oh, I want more. Give me more. I've only had 6 maps already in Canify today and a few overtimes. Let's go for some more. Iceberg, however, doesn't want another overtime. What has Iceberg eaten for dinner? This guy was, middling of the scoreboard for the majority of the game, and normally is someone on the middle of the scoreboard for this Sashi side. He's just double entried again. Iceberg, like, I understand you're trying to lead by example, but Jesus, give them some break. You're on fire, man.
I genuinely think a lot of this comes out. Look, he is hitting his shots, which is always a very important part of an FPS, first-person shooter. But I think a lot of it, again, is how they're just letting him get away with murder. Just being in the most ridiculous positions, constantly catching them off guard. And at a point, it kind of gets into your head a little bit. And you start to slip even more. You're already making mistakes. You're getting punished for it. And you start to make even more mistakes. Iceberg just capitalizes on that. So kudos to him as we head into our second half in our first overtime. CYBERSHOKE now on that T side that I spoke about a little bit earlier on, and we were lauding them for how great their individual gun skills were looking in that first half. They're gonna have to make that work double time.
Fast plays from CYBERSHOKE. This T side, this fast-paced action in middle was prolific. This was really catching Sashi off guard. And honestly, I think it does look quite surprising right now. But like, Lucky wasn't doing well with the open T side. Iceberg, I doubt he's gonna get up to his same shenanigans as the B anchor. I could see this going to double overtime. I feel like that's very, 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 very far stretched right now. But bear with me. And I think this round especially could become precarious. They're going to break open that smoke. Iceberg stuck in a mollo. He's being encircled as well from short. For some reason, Glowing's just got all of this free real estate. Iceberg, no kills for him. Blixie gets his revenge from the previous, but look how fast these rotations are. Cabby already quick on the scene. Cavalry soon to be arriving with Lucky. And with Cabby, just got to survive, but unfortunately he commits quite far out on that first kill. And with Fenneman picking off his adversary orb, Zyphon and Altex, this would be a monumental clutch for Fenneman. Okay, that shot was just too much. That was ridiculous. 28 kills for him. And look, one of those 3 rounds has come in quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of my concern with this T side, right? Like, this is where CYBERSHOKE really showed their ability and their prowess. And it's a little bit surprising when you have an AWPer that can perform as well as Fenneman. You almost expect them to be doing better on their CT side. But, you know, a T side AWP making some miracles happen here. How much more he can get done here, as they're now on their way to potentially locking in that second overtime. And again, taking that fairly, well, very controlled approach. Glowing instantly shuts down Lucky, who was deep out into the mid. Lovicus, he's cosplaying Iceberg, and he'll push out, get that kill. There's only 2 players left here. Iceberg himself.
Wait, what?
Not risking it, not risking it.
No, there's someone there.
Yes. And he will get traded.
Not clearing your corners. Tut, 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 tut. He thought, yeah, I've cleared apartments. Let me focus on the short. Boom. There's another guy there. His name's Blixie. And that is 2 of the 3. They called me crazy.
Did they? I feel like it's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Twitch chat
okay.
probably did.
It's okay. It's fine. When we're on the same wavelength, it just, you know, it makes for good broadcast experience. Another timeout to be called here. Gotta start to wonder. I mean, I was gonna say maybe too little too late, but for Sashi, winning this round would win them the game. So, really, really important for them to somehow pull themselves towards themselves and shut CYBERSHOKE down. And I think a part of this is knowing that they only managed to get 4 rounds on their actual CT half. Part of me is just like, give them all for masters, right? That's how you did it the last time. I mean,
yeah, you know, if in doubt, just
for master out.
Well, make life harder for yourself, but take away the expectations. Be like, you know, we're not supposed to win this round.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they've got an
again,
MP9, like.
Yeah, it's close enough. And the MP9 is on B, and to B we go. Nades are good to start with, and Altex, that is a really good open kill. Look, everyone's here. There's 4 players. Well, now 3. Lucky, though, spam through the smoke. Advantage still maintained for the Danes. It has got so close. We've got 30 rounds of gameplay, but it looks like it might end here. Fenneman, stop it. Another no-scope. This guy is getting away with ludicrous activities. He might be on for more. Well, he might be called for some more, unless Glowing is able to dispatch one himself. Zyphon, miss spray. Lucky, they know he's towards market, and a second overtime. Here we come.
I'll admit, it was a pretty good read from Sashi to just be like, you know what? We reinforce B. Or at the very least, we stay close to B so that we can pivot in as quickly as possible, because that's where all the success has been. Unfortunately, Iceberg on that anchor has not been getting the results that Sashi would want. CYBERSHOKE very quickly kind of picked up on that weakness, and they exploited the heck out of it. And so that ultimately, Sashi were like, all right, cool. We'll reinforce. We'll have a few more bodies. And for a while, it does work. But unfortunately for them, had some surprise moments to come through. So second overtime coming at you. What is it, your 5th overtime for these guys, Freddy?
No, this would be 4th, I think.
Oh,
Because it was 2 on Dust 2, so 4th time. But one thing that does still stay true is Glowing and Fenneman. Like, this is what I mean by the addition of firepower with Glowing, of like, that last round, a lot of these rounds have just been them getting multi-kills. Glowing with a double in round 30. Phenomen as well with that no-scope. Like, what are you talking about? And for CYBERSHOKE, it's no rush towards B immediately. You can see Iceberg is very cautious of that possibility. He's actually been dumping a fair bit of his utility, so maybe if they did go B, it'd be pretty good now. Instead, we're going to be heading towards A and leaving Lovicus, who's known, towards middle.
Oh, straight into Lucky's crosshair. That's a rough way to go. And walking out of the flames gets taken out. Now it's potentially going to come down to a retake here. No, Bomb Planter gets taken down by Eltex through the smoke. I'll be honest, I thought that CYBERSHOKE had control of the site there. I thought that was where they're going to get bomb planted. They can set up, but nope, Sashi just run over them.
Well, that was surprising. And we've broken the streak of flawless T-side rounds in overtime. Is this foreshadowing? Maybe just like we needed one and we've got our one. That was also really just easy, it felt like. And with CYBERSHOKE, they've been so fierce when they execute onto these bomb sites, but there it looked quite meek and mild. Maybe taking too long on the approach, not controlling enough of the map and allowing those rotations to bleed in. I think that was a big theme in round 30 of like, as soon as Sashi saw contact one place, boom, instant rotations. And that's exactly what happened in the previous. So I wouldn't be against CYBERSHOKE just defaulting a little bit more and actually putting contact in places of the map and then going for the execute.
I wonder how many of Sashi's players at the end of that round were just like, why couldn't we do that in the last round? One of those moments. So, see if they can replicate it here. This would be a huge game changer. The fact that they've already managed to snatch away one of CYBERSHOKE's T-side rounds after, as you mentioned, like flawless T-sides themselves, or T-rounds themselves. Good opportunity here. Unfortunately, CYBERSHOKE already managing to get that first pick off. And of course, it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. This bomb's moving its way over towards that A site. But to Sashi's credit, they're not taking the bait. Now, there will be a bit of an altercation over on B, but doesn't matter. Bomb is still making its way over, and there's still a numbers advantage here for CYBERSHOKE. Unfortunately, the molly doesn't clear, but that's okay because the shots connect. And now, only 2 players left from Sashi have to mount this 2 versus 4. Bomb still not planted. The paranoia is strong with CYBERSHOKE. All that's left is Iceberg, and he will get swung on. And finally, I keep saying finally. It's not finally, but CYBERSHOKE will even out the scoreline.
Is what I mean. This is why I picked him as our player to watch. It was either Phenomen or Glowing. Look where they both are. Top of the scoreboard. And also, on kind of the duality of that, Iceberg, he went into the first overtime CT side, which was 5 rounds ago, on 24 kills. I said, the big difference making for Sashi is that we're not going to see the same semantics with Iceberg. We're not going to see him doing these ridiculous plays out middle, getting into ladder like CT spawner a minute and 20 seconds. And yeah, on the B anchor, he's got nothing done. Altex, change of pace, tries to get flashed into ramp in this round. Looks like CYBERSHOKE, sure, they gave up one CT round, but they are going straight back to winning ways.
Well, the question becomes, is it going to be enough after losing that first round? We'll see what happens in this one. It does look like they should be able to confirm this. All 3 players from Sashi have to try to aggress in from this ramp position. Molotov down to slow them down massively. Not a lot of space to work with. They flash out. No real follow-up to speak of. There's some good site denial, but there's still so many players alive for CYBERSHOKE.
And Glowing. And Phenomenon.
Yeah, indeed. You know, the half the team, in fact. More than. And time continues to tick away. Like, what is the play here? There's a smoke down. They're looking. They can't find the bomb. There it is. They've tapped it. They're on it. They're touching. But unfortunately, it's not connecting. Magic isn't happening. Now they're on it. Trying to ninja. He's on the bomb. Trying to bring it through. There's no way. He's ninja diffused in the smoke. Ready.
Huh?
How have they let that happen?
How has Iceberg got 2? They naded the smoke. There were 3 players having a mother's meeting on the bomb. They couldn't find it.
No shot, bro.
How did Sashi win that round? They literally naded the bomb. There was 2 ramp, 2 con, and Iceberg gets 2 kills when the nade comes into the smoke. I'm astonished. I'm truly am. When I see Glowing, when I see Phenomen in a clutch like that together, I'm like, yeah, game's over, you know. 4 versus 3, life is groovy, life is dandy, and even Glowing in the 1 versus 2 isn't able to succeed. And with 2 rounds now being found for Sashi on their CT side in the second overtime, it feels like the camel's back has been broken for CYBERSHOKE on their map pick. Their CT side looks so precarious, so perilous, that I wouldn't be surprised if we just see the Danes tip it over the line and head on to Nuke, their home turf, with the advantage and looking to put CYBERSHOKE once more in a position where they not only haven't won a game in ESL Challenger Season 49, but they haven't even won a map, and unfortunately it seems like they'll be plagued that once again.
So, 3 overtimes? I feel like if anyone's plagued with anything, Freddy, it's you with overtimes at this point.
Bombs down. 3 versus 4. Sashi, yep, this is what I mean. There have been tech issues, we're back. Is there a retake? This would be a massive retake for the ages. And, well, Phenomen, he is trying his hardest. But even though we're squabbling around on the bomb site, they're still lucky in apartments with Molotovs. And this is what I mean. You win 2 rounds on the CT side, you may as well be missing distance to success. And Phenomen on 33 kills. Not even he can get that round over the line, as Sashi now have 2 opportunities to succeed. They couldn't do it in regulation. Now they're trying to do it in the second overtime.
I don't know. I mean, they say third OT is the charm, so maybe
I haven't heard that.
Just a quick update once again. Namiga did actually win their match, so 13-10 by Flex good attempt, but they'll go 1-0 in the series. We'll see which one of our 2 teams will join them. It's looking like it should be Sashi. A bit of early chip damage out in top mid, but nothing too scary just yet. Iceberg, once again, has been given all the space in the world. He's slowly making his way over towards that A site, but his teammates are dropping like flies. He's left them out to dry. And then he himself will lose his life. So not much more for Sashi to be done in this round. CYBERSHOKE, this is probably one of the best CT rounds we've seen from them. And
hold your horses. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
You can see where I was going there. I was like, hold on. Any magic?
No, unfortunately not. Bomb lost. Really not too much more to speak on here. But yeah, I mean, this has been one of CYBERSHOKE's best rounds, and it was more a positioning thing than it was anything else. Like, they were just in the right place and took the right duels.
I'd love to amuse the fact this is a winnable round, but it isn't. Phenomen has got a kill or 2 for as many rounds as I can remember.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they feed this guy. He came out onto the scene last year and I was like, I like. And he just has consistently given me reasons to be excited. 20 seconds. Lucky might catch Phenomen off guard. I think the AWP clouds your periphery, and yeah, it will, okay. But Blixie just gives space. Don't need to be getting aggressive, and you know what? Lucky doesn't anticipate him to be there, and the bomb cannot be planted. Third overtime, certainly on the cards now, isn't it?
And so I'm gonna do the thing, and I'm gonna do some maths on stream. So
oh no, don't do maths on stream.
Yeah. So we have had 34 rounds. So Phenomen is averaging 1 kill per round. Which tells me that in a few rounds he maybe didn't get a kill. But yeah, overall, 1 per round, which is outrageous. 19 deaths as well, which is, I believe, yes, the lowest on the server. I mean, he really has been a bit of a phenomenon throughout this match. But it's going to take that little bit more. Yeah, CYBERSHOKE. They've got so many puns on their team. Like, it's just so hard not to lean into it.
Glowing's glowing.
Yep, yes he is.
I mean, the best one is Prime Taps, with just like, Prime Taps is tapping. Prime.
Hey.
Prime tapping. Yeah,
No, my
it's like,
favorite
it
is
just,
Techno
you know,
4K. Because, 4K. Every time he gets a 4K.
Wait, you say no 4K?
Techno 4K.
Oh, I thought you went no 4K, which is no Four Kings, which is a good French player who used to play back in the day.
Definitely not what I meant.
I thought that's what you were going for, but 1004K, yep, that, tier 1. Glowing needs to be careful. Cabby, he's got so scary app Glowing. From 0 to 0, heavy is the crown. But Lovicus, when we need a hero, he rises above the rest, and Blixie's been baited in perfectly. He won't deny the bomb, but he's in a prime position to send us to that triple overtime. Lucky backstabbed as Lovicus completes the 3-piece, and here we go. Baby, we go again.
I mean, there's no way. There's third OT is the charm. This is where we find our winner. I'm convinced of it. Because, I mean, surely at some point something's got to give. And they still have a second map to play, folks. Remember that this is just map 1. We still have a map 2 and potentially a map 3. So strap in, folks. When this map eventually wraps, I suggest getting some hydration, maybe a couple of snacks, because we're in it for the long haul. As Sashi now look to mount their T side in the third overtime. See if they can get themselves to that map point once again. They've tasted it so many times already, but just haven't been able to cross that finish line.
Fenomen's in a good position with the orb. Siphon looks like he's going to walk into him, which he does, but we're nearing on, I think, hour 5 at minimum for CYBERSHOKE today in Counter-Strike. So, the odd reactionary shot bound to be missed. Ooh, buddy, are they going to be excited for Dust 2 if they get onto that for the third? They've seen a lot of that map already today as well. And for Sashi, this is a similar enough round to the last in the second overtime. And yeah, very similar. With a nade into the smoke, Glowing gets one, knows about the second, but Phenomen executes him with a good rotation from CT. Issue is, Phenomen has reconfirmed now to Sashi that he's not on short anymore. He's over on the A-bomb side. And guess what? Blixie is alone. Up short as well, sails Siphon, but they're not clearing him out. Oh, a blunder, an oversight. Bomb denied, and Blixie, this guy, brains for days. That is immaculate. Chooses not to kill the bomb planner first, but the AWP holding coverage, that is sublime.
I mean, when I see patience like that, trigger discipline, I'm always blown away. And for a lot of people, you can look at that and you can go, oh, but that's what a pro's supposed to do. But come on,
no,
man.
That's insane.
No, in the heat of the moment, it's so easy to focus in on the easy target, on the one right in front of you. It's crazy, man. We just keep going. For CYBERSHOKE, I mean, it's really big for them to have won that CT round as well. If they can string a second one, I'm gonna make another one of my crazy predictions. If CYBERSHOKE get a second round in the CT side of OT, third OT, they win the map. That's my...
I don't know if that's a crazy prediction.
It might be. It might be. Sashi have been pretty tenacious.
Right. Ooh, hello. Peekaboo. That's good revenge from Xiphon, because Glowing was doing very well in the previous to torment them around top connector. Good opening kill for Sashi, and they're just resetting. They're going back towards this B bomb site. Blixie, well, they're going to be clearing. I can guarantee they're going to be clearing balcony. That's not where Blixie resides. Waiting for this smoke to fade. All hell on the other side. They just run into him. Okay, a freebie onto Iceberg, but a swing trade from Lucky means that we still maintain this advantage, and Fetterman just walking to his impending doom. From the opening kill to Zytham, Lucky's double secures the first round in triple overtime for the Danes.
I've seen a few kind of weird dry peaks throughout this series. Sometimes I mean, you're feeling it, right? You're feeling confident. You're like, I can hit this shot. Somebody that's going 35 and 20, he definitely thinks he can hit the shot. But unfortunately, he does get caught out there. And while it may not have been the thing that cost them the round, certainly didn't help. And it does mean that they're going to have to reinvest into that AWP. But such is the more forgiving nature of overtime. It's not too much of a hectic consideration at the very least. But it does mean that CYBERSHOKE do not win that second OT CT round yet. Still an opportunity for them to snag that one. Sashi winning this round could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, though. If they can pull this one out of the bag somehow, we might finally see an end to this slogfest. Great opener from Fenneman, but can't follow it up, unfortunately. It does get traded. Blix will pick up that AWP at least. So that's still in play. While Sashi were kind of angling over towards the B site, it looks like they're going to maybe try a different avenue. Could be a good call. There's been a pretty heavy rotation over towards B. But now they're resetting. Good call. Don't overstay your welcome. And in fact, they're even going to lay down a bit of utility over towards A, so they're definitely expecting this pivot.
The last round for CYBERSHOKE was a big lack of proactivity. And this round, I like the fact that Fenneman goes for a play that he hasn't before. Blixie buying a double AWP as well. It's decisive. I like it. It's something different. But again, we just have no moving parts to this for CYBERSHOKE. Everyone's very regiment in their ways. And now, execute onto A. Glowing first player's low. It's pandemonium on the ladder. And they can't even get down. Glowing, however, on the ladder, gets a kill while scaling up it. A three-piece where in no way, shape, or form he should have got more than one.
Glowing was truly the gatekeeper in that round. And yeah, I mean, I love the fact that we see some changes there from CYBERSHOKE, right? The initial kind of early aggression from Fenneman, the fact that that smoke comes out over towards Palace. A little bit later on in the round, once they realize, okay, there's a good chance that there's a rotation happening here. So that gives them a huge advantage when CYBERSHOKE finally do start to kind of push through. And then Glowing just holding down M1 at the bottom of that ladder, not allowing anyone, really kind of cosplaying Gandalf in that moment. But it does mean that CYBERSHOKE got those 2 CT rounds that I was kind of playing with. Can they follow that up already? 2 kills for themselves as they push in on towards this A site. They do have Glowing pulling up that mid position, and with taking very little damage, he deals with Cabby quite swiftly. Control of the A site is now taken. Bomb gets planted. A little bit of damage to come through, but with only 2 players left alive for Sashi, the chances of this retake slowly slip through their fingers. Now Lucky has to make it all happen with an AWP against 2 players that have a pretty good bit of positioning on him. He does get spotted out. The swing from Notaneki is good, and CYBERSHOKE go up to 21.
I honestly was cautious there because not only do they line up on ramp potentially for the spray down, but Lucky also reads into the fact that there is a player towards Palace and he almost is able to pivot to Notaneki. That was almost perfect. But instead, it's not Sashi with 2 opportunities to close it out. It's CYBERSHOKE with their 2 opportunities now. 21-19. They've been here before, but more so when they were on the city side. They had 3 map points in a row, but now they're on their touted ground of the attacking side, and it feels like this should just be towed over the line. maybe not this round, but certainly within the next two, a nice tactical pause. Every overtime you replenish, or well, I guess eradicate all the other tactical timeouts. You just get one every overtime, and I think it's a really nice moment for CYBERSHOKE to reel it back in and be like, look, we've been here before. We kind of trolled last time. This time, it's not going to happen the same way. We're going to be closing out Mirage. We're going to close out our map pick, our 5th round of overtime today. We're going to go on to Nuke, and we're going to show them who is boss. We're going to win out our first map in ESL Challenger League. We're going to win out our first series, and it all starts right now.
It's a good pep talk, Freddy. You should be a coach.
Try my best.
All right, CYBERSHOKE. Show us the magic. Bomb still towards spawn. Please don't forget
just
the
defaulting
bomb.
for now.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah. I always panic a little bit. You know, sometimes it does happen, and it's scary. It's spooky. But as you said,
doing a bit of trolling there.
Ooh, good shot from Lucky, literally on the drive-by. So we'll trade those numbers quite nicely. Blixie takes a ton of damage, but he's able to kind of fade away and not get caught out. No, surely they have to.
They're not clearing him.
No,
this is perfect. We're still alive.
There's always someone there. How have they allowed that to happen?
Because
the bomb's been lost.
Altex died in front of him. Altex died for the round. That was perfection. Zyphon gets baited in for the cause, for the round, for the greater doing. Lucky able to pick up another kill within that commotion. And Lovacus just sitting there being like, guys, we're not clearing underpass, but there was one already there. They've outplayed us. Danish people in Counter-Strike, man.
That's nuts. I mean, yeah, the Danish super teams. I mean, I do have opinions about national super teams, but we won't go into that right now. Just in terms of Danish players in general, it can't be denied. They are exceptional and proving it quite often. And so Sashi will snatch away one of the rounds from CYBERSHOKE. There's still a chance here. Man, if we go into another overtime, I'm gonna need to wake up my partner and get them to bring me coffee. This is getting a little bit out of hand. Are we feeling the 4th overtime, Freddy? Are we feeling that?
I said it, but I was muted like the dummy I was. But I've given up with trying to predict what's happening right now. I'm like, when you get into even as first overtime, a lot of just like predictability gets thrown out the window. Reason, what even is that anymore? And no, I'm not talking about Reason Gaming. Big up UKCS. I'm talking about Counter-Strike Reason. And for CYBERSHOKE, a lot of signs point towards them certainly pushing over the line. That was where my pep talk was coming from. But you know, that was a pretty good last round from Sashi. It did involve them using a gimmick, and that was kind of the only reason why it was won. So there is obviously a worry of like, are we going to be able to win out just a straight round? Even though we did technically win a 3v5 last round.
Alright, OT4 on the horizon. As Iceberg looking to get overrun here. Blixie will get that first kill onto Cabby, so Iceberg survived a little bit later. The spray is so labored. He's good for one, but he gets traded out very, very quickly. The site has been overrun. And that could be the end of it. 2 versus 4 for all the marbles to get us into that 4th overtime as the bomb ticks away. Time is not on Sashi's side. And they have to make a move here. 1 rifle, 1 AWP. So difficult to mount a retake with this. A little bit of utility. The HE doesn't confirm the kill. It does damage. Glowing will get that kill onto Altex, but Lucky only good for 1 before he's traded out. And finally, at the very last hurdle, CYBERSHOKE will pull their map pick out of their pockets and take us all the way, not into a 4th overtime, but they close.
CYBERSHOKE would be the highest on Sashi. That's very weird. And the fact that it was 22-20. Huh. Go figure.
What a nutso scoreline as well. Definitely not how I thought we were going to be kicking off our ECL today or this week, however you want to look at it. But, well, that's exactly how it happened. And we are not hitting the brakes just yet. So now we dive into our second map of the series. Reminder, folks, it's ECL Season 49. So much on the table for these teams. So much to play for DRX. Now possible under your belt. And you gotta win them.
Yep, +8 in the rankings of CYBERSHOKE if they're able to win out this map or the series in total. Lovica's already a great start in this heat-side pistol. There's a big nade somewhere, it felt like. Cabby's low, Altex is low, but this from Zyphon in between enemy lines, silencing Lovica's, but Blixie holding the line towards ramp, not allowing them to pass through. Bomber's been dropped, and, well, it's actually not even really acquirable. Like, I don't see how this is going to be picked up by Sashi, as both players were on the A-bomb site. Blixie has repositioned and is actually just running for the hills. In the meantime, Notaneki and Glowing, they've joined up together, and we have really just had this mass exodus away from the bomb.
Yeah, somewhat questionable, I suppose. But it also gives them an opportunity. I was going to say it gives them an opportunity to group up, but they're just splitting further away from each other. Now Notaneki, first line of defense, okay, you know what? They only needed one line of defense there. That's totally fine. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah, that was a very weird 3 versus 2, and that 100% could have gone wrong. But hey, I guess Blixie did enough, and there was not as much time on the clock left that Sashi would have wanted for them to adequately clear all these angles. So it's going to be a good start for CYBERSHOKE on their opponent's battlefield. No bomb planted means it's going to be a foot eco for Sashi, so it should just be a quick little 2-0, and oh my good golly aunt. Cabby has just Assassin's Creed Zeus glowing. What?
Oh man, I would love to have that on a replay. That's magical.
We didn't win the round, but in one way or another, we did.
We didn't win the point, but we won the style point. So, you know, and that's worth so much more. In a round like that, when
yeah.
there wasn't much that was going to happen, absolutely.
If I'm glowing, my desk is in half.
For real, man. Getting ready to get his vengeance in this one. See if he gets the opportunity. Now Sashi actually do have some guns available.
I like this play from Phenomen. He's starting down towards Secret. Only a FAMAS. I think he had an AWP on the first gun round on Mirage on his side, but he's going to be down towards Secret, and I think there's a very good chance that if Iceberg continues, he's not going to anticipate someone to be there. But Phenomen's actually just playing the pixel angle with the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, he had that AWP because he got the 3 kills on the pistol, and then the 4th kill, 1 extra kill in the second round, so it was a bit of a cash farm this time around. Not quite so lucky, so can't make that happen again. Sashi have played this very close to the vest. There's been a little bit of util that's gone out for a bit of poking and prodding. They've kind of set Zyphon up into a slightly advanced outside position, but not terribly so. So he's not in like a crazy position to be able to flank around or you know, pivot off of. But it looks like they might just angle towards ramp instead. The HE doesn't connect, but it does give over a little bit of info of where this player might be. It looks like we are going to commit to this A hit. Ooh, great pre-fire from Cabby, but he will get traded out. Now Lovica's position known, however, doesn't matter. On the swing, shut down, bomb to get planted. Phenomen down towards B, last player left alive. Don't think there's too much he can get done here. It's a good play from Sashi. Venom looking to just hold on to this weapon. Not sure if Freddy is still here.
Yep.
Okay, just check.
I was saying, it's a good round for Sashi on the basis more so they were just hitting their shots, because it wasn't always a given on Mirage. Like, we were talking about the scoreboard, there was no one standout player, and sure, the utility was good in that round and we had a good execute, but they brute forced their way onto the bomb site. There was a lot of first bullet headshots, and I think that sounds quite blunt and a bit like, but I think it's good for Sashi that they're actually just hitting their shots and they're able to just go boom, we can break our way onto a site.
Sometimes, I mean, that's exactly what you need. The problem I find is that we know that these players are capable of that brute force, right? We saw that so many rounds on Mirage. The problem came in with that coordination, with those protocols, having them in place and being able to play off of them properly. Perhaps that'll change as we move in here to Nuke. Sashi looked for a very similar, I think, in fact, this is exactly the same setup as they had in the previous round. Zyphon with that slightly elevated position. But this time around, they are actually going to go for that ramp push, it looks like.
There's a big chance they might not expect Notineki, especially with throwing utility in from hell. And it looks like they still want to break through Sashi. There's 3 defenders trying to make their way in. And yeah, Notineki, they're not going to expect this. Their attention turned towards Glowing. Bomb drop. Notineki, how many more can he get? Glowing is not helping him. He's very much stuck on this island. And then he's going to run him down. Glowing, no support. Zyphon alongside that, able to get good impact outside with not only a kill, but a big part of distraction. The B bomb site capitulated. No one home to defend, and all 3 CYBERSHOKE players are retaking from Secret. No kit available, and an orb is less to be desired. And now, no Blixie.
And I think, yep, this is the right call. Back away. Live to fight another day. Bit of a SpaghettiOs round. I think, so the fact that they overrun Notineki, he gets that first kill, that's great, but Glowing not backing him up and opting to play safe there's a part of me that's like, I mean, I kind of get it, you want to be able to survive, you know, but when you lose your teammates and you put yourselves in an unfavorable position, at the end of the day, does that make much of a difference? I think that having him play a crossfire there, have that secondary angle held, even if all he does is get 1 after Notineki gets run over, you're still in a far better position to be able to pivot off of that. And unfortunately, the save in that round was completely denied, which means into this round, they have nothing to work with. So despite a really good start to the show here, looks like Sashi might just be running away with things. Very reminiscent to what we saw on Mirage, but this time in favor of Sashi.
Yeah, 2 very good back-to-back gun rounds, and especially with Phenomen on the AWP in the second. Not a great showing, and especially on the T side, starting to string these rounds momentum early on is very pivotal. That is a pre-fire and a half from Iceberg. He just went around that corner pre-firing that angle. Oh, you dirty boy, Notineki. This is disgusting. Come on, someone come down the vent. Oh, they bullied the vent.
Aww.
Gotta ruin all our fun.
I must admit, though, I don't think there was any reason for anyone to go down the vent, so chances of it happening were fairly slim. Would have been fun, but unfortunately, not to be the case. Alright, CYBERSHOKE. You'll have some weaponry into the next round. You're on your CT side. You've just lost... Well, you lost your lead in the previous round, and now you've conceded the lead entirely and allowed Sashi to take it. I say allowed. Sashi definitely took that. There was no allowing in those last few rounds. But we need to see some kickback now. And Sashi's rounds have been fairly... Is there a word for this? Template? It's been like following a template. I don't know if there's actually a word for that, but they've been very, very similar. Almost copy-paste. Carbon copy? Nah, I wouldn't go with
Carbon copy sound like they're just following the default, right?
Yeah. So fairly easy to read into, but can you respond to it is the question. So far, so good. First kill onto Cabby. Sashi looking to get a little bit more aggressive this time around, and they do get somewhat punished for it. Iceberg's in a pretty decent position out towards outside, but he gets caught out ducking and dancing through the smokes. That's unfortunate. However, Zyphon will keep them in a position to be able to fight back. Now Notaneki on this ramp position. No! What a return! Oh, that could be Notaneki's. Oh dear. 3 versus 2 now. Sashi had a chance, but they allowed it to slip through their fingers. Not winning out these gun battles. And CYBERSHOKE will even out the scoreline once again.
That was only contestable because Lucky hits just this zinger of a shot. Like, that was a ridiculous 90-degree flick towards ramp. Hats off. That was honestly immaculate. And Glowin's had a really rough game. He starts 0-5. He's actually kind of the one player that dies there that opens the round up. Like, you know, the ramp player fool, I think it was Blake. Yeah, whoever. Yeah, the ramp player fool is like, yeah, unlucky. You know, yeah, not gonna sit there and critique that because what can you do? But for me, Lovicus, that was such a fantastic round. Proactivity outside, then the proactivity in towards lobby after they get that ramp contact. Really well done from him, and he stepped up massively at the end of Mirage, and he's stepping up big time here, where the likes of Fenneman and Glowing are not simply put. And well, speaking of Fenneman and Glowing, they've got a lot of players just behind these smokes, and this could be a round where they have to step up.
The last time that Iceberg opted to push through the smoke here and get a little bit cheeky, I nearly said Leviticus. Lovicus.
That is very different.
Somewhat biblical, yes. But I suppose it was a little biblical in the way that he was dealt with. Not unlike what Fenneman just did. Iceberg is not having a good map on Nuke. Nothing near what he was doing on Mirage with all of the crazy shenanigans that he was getting away with. But CYBERSHOKE have definitely kind of come into themselves a little bit here. They seem to have a much better read on how Sashi are playing this, and well, their shots are connecting that a little bit better, but Cabby now will give them a little bit of room to breathe, bring those numbers down ever so slightly, and make their way down secret towards that B site. Now they still do have to contend with Fenneman. They knew that he was here. Is he still here? Has he pushed back up towards A? He's literally just gone up now. There's no way. They've all got up to reinforce towards A. Surely by now they know. As the bomb makes its way in towards that B site, it should be able to get planted. But in a 2 versus 3, this is going to be such a tough hold. What?
What? Well, it's made it a little bit harder now because Fenneman's decided to just drop down. He goes against the laws of Counter-Strike, and he does this over and over and over again. Cabby, this would be a massive 1 versus 3. They don't seem to know where he is exactly, but they have a pretty good idea, and a very lengthy spray onto Lovicus, who is currently at the top of the scoreboard for not just his team, but the whole server, gives CYBERSHOKE 2 rounds in a row. I don't want to say single-handedly, but he was a big piece to both of those puzzles, and it's CYBERSHOKE back to winning ways after they lost the opening 2 gun rounds.
Fenneman is actually unreasonable sometimes. I mean, drops down through the fire and flames, gets the shot, and then just waltzes away like nothing happened. It's actually just unfair. And the no-scopes that he was hitting on Mirage as well, I think there were 2 that were just absolutely outrageous. And it's plays like that that are certainly kind of keeping CYBERSHOKE alive in this. I've just noticed that Lovicus is chilling on double digits. 10-4 at the moment. Has definitely stepped up. Not that he wasn't on the server on Mirage. He was definitely there and doing a lot, making a lot of impact. But here on Nuke, he's definitely kind of stepped up that little bit more.
I mean, the last 2 gun rounds, he's got 5 kills combined, and the opening kill in one of them, and the closing kill in both of them, actually. He stepped up massively on Mirage, and is stepping up massively right now, filling in for the shoes that Glowing is leaving vacant, as he's currently sitting 0-6. Not a great game for him so far, and to be honest, the A bomb site might be a pretty good directive for Sashi to go and target. especially because this whole CT side formation means that we have got a big lack of rotations towards A. Lovacus has dropped. And then on top of that, Phenomen is over towards ramp. So there's no Heaven player. Notaneki is playing deep garage. If we just pop A here, you put everything on the shoulders of Blixie and Glowing.
Alrighty, execs come through. Iceberg finally making those shenanigans happen. How does Glowing get 2 before he's finally put to rest? And that is pivotal because it keeps them in a 3v3 scenario. It gives them an opportunity to mount some sort of a retake here. There's a possibility, but it's going to be incredibly difficult. Venom has just fallen down. It looks like they're not actually...
He's going for the flashes. He's going to go flash his teammate in through Heaven. And pop they go in. Up the vent alongside that is Lovacus. But Sashi, they are ready for that.
Surely Venom just backs away here. The money's not great. They've won a few rounds, but it's not good enough. Don't push it, and well, he does, and he loses his life and the AWP. Sashi bring themselves up to 4 rounds, and this is kind of the point where CYBERSHOKE have to stop it in its tracks. If they allow Sashi to get any more rounds, it could mean some serious difficulty when we swap sides. And now that's obviously a huge generalization. CYBERSHOKE could just have the craziest T-side nuke we've ever seen. It's unlikely, but it's possible. But if we're talking like broad generalizations here, this is where they would need to stem the tide. And unfortunately, they come into this round on pistols. So this is starting to look a little bit scary for our CYBERSHOKE guys.
Just a big lack of proactivity on CT side, which is something that I commented upon on that Mirage of when you'd be at like a 45-second mark, you'd have... It came specifically very aware to me in the 4 versus X's, where you just have, without fail, 2A, 2B. That was it. Nothing was happening. No one was moving. And that last round, look, on paper is really good, but you probably have to go do something. You have to move. You can't just leave this A bomb site as barren and open as it was. And on top of that, Glowing does great to get his 2 kills. And I think that was extraordinary, but realistically, apart from that, it was pretty dire. We've had a few kills in this eco round. Notaneki, Spirit Academy. He can shoot hard. He's been promoted. Everyone who comes out from Spirit Academy is a pretty hard and fast shooter.
Sure.
Just need to see that a little bit more consistently. And Sashi, they reclaim the lead on their T side. And this is a little bit of how I expected Nuke to go. And especially when we get on the CT side, I think I think from here, 5 is already just good enough for Sashi. And I assume they'd probably end up extending this even further. The question is, how far does it get extended on first half? But regardless, it's like, they're going to go CT side and it's just going to be a walkover.
Yeah, I think that's quite a rough pill to potentially swallow here for CYBERSHOKE, and not looking to admit to that potential defeat just yet. If they, I don't know, make that miracle happen, man. It's gotta happen because, I mean, at least with winning that first map, they've given themselves a little bit of a buffer here, and so, third map is on the cards. If they lost the first map, that would be serious done. Oh, Glowing gets so aggressive, shuts down Iceberg. Iceberg is just not allowed to play this map. After everything that he put them through on Inferno, he's just not allowed to play the game. Sorry, Mirage. I don't know why I said Inferno. I think I've said that a few times now.
Yes, it's getting late. T-side specifically as well, like he was a demon. But Glowing had a slow game, time to stand up tall. Unfortunately not tall enough, but that's when Blixie comes in to save the day. Zyphon very far strayed from the action. A 1 versus 2 and an unsuccessful crusade down towards the B bomb site for Sashi means that our talisman, our star player for Sashi, has to try swoop in and pick up the pieces. He does have a smoke, and he could put that either towards single or glass, and that would block off one of his oppositions. Issue is, Lovacus can then just pivot to double, for instance. So it's a great smoke. Yep, towards control. He has the ability to focus towards single, but as mentioned, Lovacus just goes double, so there's no real right way. Zyphon, though. Oh! No, you've got to be kidding me. How has he clutched that up? That is indescribable.
Zyphon has had the most phenomenal moments in so many of these rounds. The number of high impact multi-frags, and I mean I say that as if a multi-frag isn't in a very general sense just gonna be high impact, but like in instances where they're down, right, and he's able to bring it back to a favorable position, or much like we've just seen, to clutch out an entire round. Like, he has been a strong linchpin for the Sashi side on both of these two maps, and that shows no signs of slowing down. The problem now for CYBERSHOKE is, oh my, yeah, pistol round. I need to, okay, Blixie, Fenneman, hold up guys. This is starting to look like it might be winnable. 3 versus 1. The one has a rifle, but Blixie just goes absolutely nuclear with that deagle. All right. Put some respect on the name. The man showed up.
Respecter. God damn. And, well, that's a massive fumble from Sashi. Realistically, Zyphon should have never have won that 1 versus 2, so I guess this is some sort of cold-blooded revenge for that. But Blixie, damn. I saw him get this insane 5.7 3K earlier today, and apparently when he's got a pistol in his hand, he just turns into prime Nico. And no, not Nico on Nuke. There's other versions of him.
Uh-huh. Poor Nico, man. He's never gonna live down the accusations.
I don't think there's any accusations. I think there's just that one clip, to be honest.
We're gonna live it down. Poor man. Okay, but that was a really important round for CYBERSHOKE because it means that in this round they actually had money, so they could actually buy weapons, which gives them a chance to even out the scoreline, which could be a bit of a game changer here. Gives them a little bit of room to work with in that second half. They've already done that little bit of damage onto Iceberg as well. If they can follow that up, confirm that kill, kind of keep Sashi under pressure. I was just about to comment on how there was very little down towards the B bomb site, but they do have a bit of a roamer there in Notaneki, and of course he has been that ramp player for a while now, so he's in position and potentially ready to give that information if necessary. The bomb is kind of hovering down towards Secret, so it looks like it is going to be this B hit, and it looks like CYBERSHOKE have actually read into it because they've had 2 players rotate down already, ready to kind of meet up with Sashi. Unfortunately, Glowing loses that altercation. Notaneki opts not to swing, knows there could be more players. Yeah, spots up that first one. I don't think he's been seen. So he's in a really good spot. He follows it up. So that brings the numbers to a more even kilter. And CYBERSHOKE have a little bit of an opportunity to rotate back in. But the bomb's already been planted, which means the time is no longer on CYBERSHOKE's side. The AWP kill comes through, and that's going to shut down whoever was... Yeah.
He's all the way on the other side of the map, but the bomb's not planted for him. All his teammates have fallen, but the deagle not quite connecting at range. This grenade shall, though. Is there enough time? Lovicus gets the kill, and I think the defuse will have aptly enough time. 6-6, even at the half. It was difficult for CYBERSHOKE. They claw their way back in, aided by a pistol victory. Will 6 rounds be enough on their T side of Nuke? We'll be finding out after the break.
Something new, yeah. And I never thought that I got me wanted. Never thought that never thought that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream, yeah. Feel like
very, very chaotic final round in that half, but CYBERSHOKE do manage to snag that last one and bring it to an evened out scoreline at the half. 6-6 here on Nuke on Sashi's map pick. Now CYBERSHOKE have to mount a T side, and it's going to have to be a really impressive one. Their CT side was, it has to be said, a little bit lackluster. They weren't able to give themselves the buffer that they wanted, but it wasn't a total blowout. So now, got to put on your big boy shoes and make this as clean as possible.
Yeah, the fact that CYBERSHOKE got 6 in itself is almost quite impressive. Like, full eco win and then clutching up a 1 versus 1. That should have been... that was 3v1. But okay, we're exploding in towards ramp. Outside Lovica's Falls, that's the lurk of CYBERSHOKE. So now they have nowhere to go but B. They're going to try to call this bomb site their home. And Cabby, well, he's ruining it for them. And it just falls apart. This is a dominating, defying show for Sashi on the pistol round. A real statement to begin this second half.
Yeah, I mean, flawless. Don't lose a single player. Bomb doesn't get planted. Starts off by shutting down that lurk very early on, which, as you said, right, like it completely cuts off any other avenues for CYBERSHOKE. They lose all that control of the map. The rest of their 4 players are all kind of huddled together, moving towards B, and it's like, well, guess we're going B. And Sashi's like, well, guess they're going B. Very quick to cut them off the pass. And that round goes quite swiftly in Sashi's favor. CYBERSHOKE, unfortunately, a bomb plant at the very least was so important in that round because they come into this with nothing.
Well, we've been here before, Iceberg. We've had these duels before. There's no deagle to spam you through a smoke.
Oh, brother.
We're losing to Glocks. We're losing to Glocks. I'm scared. Okay, all is good. All is good. That is terrifying that Altex and Iceberg don't get a single kill against the Glocks.
I mean, that's such a scary moment, though, because Iceberg, so he's watching the door. The door opens. He presumably hears some footsteps, so gets kind of distracted by that, turns away. As he turns, 2 players swing into the doorway, and it's this, like, split-second thing that happens as his attention is pulled away for a moment. And everything almost falls apart. But MP9... nice little bit of farming done there, and that will get them an AWP here in the 3rd round. Very reminiscent to what we saw CYBERSHOKE doing over on Mirage, but this time it's going to be Lucky that has that in hand. Unfortunately, it looks like he's been more or less circumvented. Oh no, they've pushed him off of the angle. A beautiful Molotov there, which means they've got some space here to push down ramp if they want to, but instead, low and slow. Surely you're not just going to walk into the AWP sideline, surely not. Okay. I think the flash just didn't, like, hit. Because I'm pretty sure I saw a flash go out. Do be rough out here.
What a bizarre round.
We're already like 30 seconds in, man.
Iceberg... a minute, I guess.
Yeah.
Iceberg's in T-Spawn. Got 1 player on B. Surprised we haven't rotated more towards B, to be honest. Yeah, and we're just going down ramp. This is... CYBERSHOKE haven't probably got the resistance there anticipated. Cabby, process of elimination, has to be on the back of the bomb site, but he still gets a kill, which keeps the numbers in favor of Sashi. Look at this fast rotation. Already players down towards ramp. Cypher keeping his presence no towards single. And yeah, okay, that was a bit of a weird setup for Sashi, but ultimately, that retake is clinical.
I'll be honest, I thought the timing was going to be against them because so Iceberg was busy lurking out in the T-spawn, heading towards ramp, obviously trying to get behind them. They realize that it's B. He pulls back towards outside, groups up, then pushes with a teammate towards ramp. And a part of me is going, you've taken too long. Your lurk is not going to activate in time to actually get the value that you're trying to get out of it. Boy, was I wrong. CYBERSHOKE don't manage to get onto the site quickly enough. They don't manage to take that space. They get stalled out. And as they get in onto the site, there's still a barrage of utility that can come through. So the sight lines get denied. And the lurks from Sashi come in. It's a pincer maneuver. CYBERSHOKE just drop dead. it worked out somehow.
Faster play for CYBERSHOKE. It worked to get on the A bomb site against, well, with the Glocks, and they're actually just going to go down towards Secret. Bomb down. Issue is, so is Cabby, and they're just walking below him. None the wiser. Bomb shall be planted, but everyone around them falls. Never mind, not an Eki. I don't know how Cabby hasn't killed him there, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. Like, the bomb's just going to get defused. Elixir, there's nothing he can do, and well, Tech9 v Tech9, Lucky hits the headshot first, and that is Sashi so far flawless in the second half on double digits.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is that very thing that we were kind of concerned about, that, you know, CYBERSHOKE on their CT side just weren't able to get enough done, move over onto the T side, and now they have no wiggle room, no room to breathe. If they had managed to win the pistol round and the conversion, maybe they're in with a chance, but having lost that, and now it's turned into a 4-round runaway train. Round 5 is a momentum shifter. I live by those words, but it takes more than just the number at the top of your screen. It takes some serious team play and perhaps a little bit of a surprise to come through. It doesn't look like we're going to have too much of a surprise here, so we've got a fairly straightforward setup, but the first kill does come through for Lovicus here. Now that will give information that there's quite a bit of a presence out towards outside. Iceberg spots out one, opts not to spam through the smoke because he suspects that Glowing is going to be up there, shuts him down, brings us back to the 4 versus 4. And the bomb is going to make its way through these doors. Cabby is ready and waiting, however. Good timing on that. He looks up to the window, and as he does so, the door is open, and he misses whatever happened there. But they should be aware now that there are reinforcements here. So it's too dangerous to push in with the bomb, but they don't have a line of retreat. The bomb is now lost. And Natanenki's the last one left alive. This round has fallen apart.
It's just such a polarizing CT side to CYBERSHOKE. Like, Sashi are being super proactive. Cabby is always moving down towards the B bomb site. The AWP is rotating towards ramp to either help in offensive from lobby, or either provide further overwatch from the players coming out of double or glass. And then on top of that, you have Altex taking a bait on ladder in vent, and then you have the secret push. Like, it's all just this perfect, well-oiled machine for Sashi that you could not say the same about CYBERSHOKE. And I can see why Sashi are so good on Nuke right now. They are playing this map perfectly. And, well, it could have been a 2-0, but it looks like Ancient, the third map, shall be needed. We still do have some legs and life left on Nuke, but I've just got a feeling... I've got a feeling that this is going to be going to an overtime. I think it's going to be close pretty shortly.
Oh man, I mean, we've seen some phenomenal stuff happen on these pistol rounds. Blixie had an unreal round in the first half when he got a 4K with the Deagle, but unfortunately could not replicate that here. Would have been a great time to do it as well, but not going to be allowed the opportunity. Fenneman's been able to pick up an AK though, so if he can save that into the next round, that'd be pretty cool, especially because it will be the map point. And their economy is in a very, very tight spot. So survival here is the name of the game. The tension just to see if a player survives. It's unreal. No! Denied. So they will not be able to take that AK into the next round, which means that they play with... Okay, they do have enough money. They can pull out a pretty okay buy. It's not the best by any measure, but it's not unserviceable.
You know what? I don't care what the buy is. You haven't got a round on the T side.
Yeah.
Like, even if you do win this, it's only a matter of time before Sashi are able to find one within the next 6. They have so much breathing room, and they are looking just fantastic on Nuke, to be honest. And I'm very impressed. Individuals are stepping up. Zyphon's having a fantastic performance, 21-8. He's the star guy that's come over from TSM to bolster the ranks of Sashi, and so far in this map, that's exactly what he is doing. And, well, he's hungry for some more, Sam. I've got a feeling we're not going to end off this map with him on 21 kills.
Looking to pad those stats a little bit. Don't blame him. See how much more he can get done here. Oh, I do like this from Iceberg. Oh, you know what? I thought he was pushing through because I was just looking on the minimap, so I thought that he was going like really aggressive into them, and I was like, I vibe with that. But no, just holding that very, very tight angle, which is not a bad idea in and of itself. CYBERSHOKE toy with the idea of ramp, but ultimately think better of it. And that means they're not going to have to contend with Lucky's AWP, which is probably for the best. Lucky's also had a pretty darn good map so far. So instead, we're going to go for the execute straight towards the site. But, oh man, it's CYBERSHOKE who get executed. That was over in the blink of an eye. They tried to brute force their way in. The utility wasn't landing where it needed to be. It wasn't coordinated. It really was just kind of throw something at the wall and hope that it sticks. And CYBERSHOKE hold good.
What was 3? What was 1?
And it's actually not Sashi. It was looking pretty good for them at the start there, but no.
Bro, Blixie just 1v3'd. You're
With a
kidding
knife.
me.
Yeah. I mean, he's been really good on surprising weapons, right? 4K with the Deagle earlier today.
How are you spinning this into an actual conversation? This is a knife
It's my
round.
job, Freddy. I get paid per word, okay?
Paid per word. Oof, if only.
Oof, if only. Goddamn. The way we yap, and every time there's a tech pause, we'd be raking in the cash. All right, so that means that CYBERSHOKE are going to get to start their side, and, well, it's looking like it's probably going to be CT side. Let's be real about that. Tech issues.
We thought we were lucky, but no. We actually had tech pause bingo yesterday. I think we filled everything in, apart from... electricity has gone down for the village or the street. And honestly, I don't know. We had nosebleed. We had dogs barking. We had package at the door. We had internet down. We had electricity down. We had server died. We had lost. We had TeamSpeak issue. We had headset issue. Like the bingo card, we'd almost filled it out completely. Like we're missing mouse and keyboard, I guess. Some of all the peripherals. But apart from that,
all
like,
the things to be missing, mouse and keyboard, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't have physical harm. We were kind of ringing off the anecdote of when Zedko broke his hand in an official in like 2023 because he slammed his desk too hard. Apart from that, but then we were like, there's a nosebleed physical like harm. So we were like, oh, good point. So yeah, very philosophical questions and conversations were happening yesterday.
I mean,
Dogs
to be fair,
barking. We had dogs barking. We didn't have animals excreting.
Okay. You didn't have somebody having to walk their fish.
Well, we had Brandon who had fish, so I feel like we kind of covered our bases there. Yeah.
You know, funny you mention the power going out. So the org that I like co-own, one of the teams had a match today, and one of the guys, his whole town went out. Like
heavy.
Not even town, city. Like the city, just the power went out.
Boom.
So there you go. You can stick that on your bingo card if you like.
I had my street electricity turn off, or my borough last week in a class, which was fun. But anyways, pistol round, we're live, and Sashi are running to their grave. They are running onto this manned B bomb site, and they are unable to barely get up ramp. Lucky, well, I don't see him be very lucky in this round because he's got no armor. He's already on 39 HP, and the bomb is right in the welcoming hands of CYBERSHOKE.
A little bit of a chaotic kickoff to the map, but CYBERSHOKE could be happy with that one. Lucky position now. I mean, they knew where he was, but they knew that he hadn't moved at that point. He could still move, but Finneman is waiting for it. Oh, lucky. Oh, you're feeling lucky, punk. Unfortunately, it's Finneman who shuts him down. And it's the first round that goes for CYBERSHOKE. And I believe that is the first pistol they have won since the first half of Mirage.
Hardly. So, Mirage, they didn't win a pistol round. And CYBERSHOKE won the first pistol on Nuke. So it's only their second pistol round out of 5. So It's a statistic.
Yep.
The fact that Sashi win both pistol rounds on Mirage and losing triple overtime, whew, that's gonna hurt. But no bomb down. So, should be a pretty easy round for CYBERSHOKE. As it's gonna be 5 Glocks.
Pretty standard, feels like. Yep. Pretty standard. Few pot shots taken from it.
Give me the Mikos.
Ooh.
Okay. It's
Meaty.
almost, I almost prefer it when an SMG gets a multi-kill and either dies or is able to upgrade to an M4 like that. Because now Notaneki can just drop an AWP over to Fenneman if he wants. Ah, we're being boring. If we were on like a Nuke City side or Mirage, AWP's going over. But it's because we're on Ancient.
Yeah, unfortunate. But that's okay. You know, I feel like, especially for CYBERSHOKE at this point, play it safe. That last map possibly kind of got into their heads a little bit. So they'll want to regroup and recuperate as much as possible. And when you take risks, when they work out, it's great. When they don't, it does a lot more damage to your psyche than if you'd just done something regular. So keep it simple. See if that works out for you. As now, Sashi have weapons available. Strong presence in towards mid here. Let's see if they can catch somebody off guard. Notaneki holds the line quite nicely there, and that's going to shut down that potential A extremity lurk. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Sashi now. They were kind of banking on that to potentially, you know, wrap around later on. And it does pull Lucky away because he has to be on the lookout in case somebody decides to get cheeky and, you know, wrap around them instead.
Fan of his double cave presence taking contact on B, but hey, it passed with flying colors. Fenneman falls. You've got Blixie just alone now, carrying on this bomb site. Mass rotation for CYBERSHOKE. Are Sashi still gonna commit over towards B? It seems like they will, but it's a close shadow. Spotted Zyphon eliminates. Zyphon doubles down. There's still one player towards long, but he is short for this world. And fair play. Sashi, they lose the opening kill at the very beginning of the round, and then they just storm onto the B bomb site.
You know what? It's a great show of, what's the word?
Brawn.
Yes, but also being able to restabilize, I suppose. You know, you lose that first player early on. You're able to think about, okay, what is our plan B? How do we pivot off of this? And how do we make that work in our favor? I know, Zyphon, go kill. It's a good strat. It's been working out for them really well up until this point, and it looks like it shows no real signs of slowing down.
Good first round on the board for Sashi. Wouldn't be surprised if CYBERSHOKE just take an eco. Even though there's only 1900 loss bonus, they will get a full buy in the next. And they are going to go for a low investment, but they're investing a little bit too much for my liking. And we're still going to only have like 3.9 on glowing next round, for instance. Yeah, would have maybe preferred, if we're going to low buy eco, just kind of firm it instead of being like, oh yeah, we might buy a 5.7 in armor and a smoke, and it means that we're not going to have a full buy next round. But hey, it does mean this round is dangerous, and Notaneki with the M4 in cave. What?
No!
That was strange, and Notaneki picks up two towards mid. Notaneki's been able to get away. Blixie with the picked up AK unfortunately can't deal with Iceberg, but Fenneman Zhao outtakes 1 versus 2. He's on low HP, and Fenneman's Deagle rings out for a second. I said it can be dangerous, and well, point and case.
If you could see the look on my face, that was actually just unreal. And the funny thing is that it's not the first time that CYBERSHOKE have done something like that, particularly off the back of Blixie getting like either an opener or just like a crazy multi-frag. It's another instance where his pistol just does outrageous things, and the follow-up is just so perfect from the rest of the team. throughout the map. I don't know how Sashi lost that. That feels like a big misplay from them, and unfortunately, what could have turned into a little bit of a streak gets stopped in its tracks. They come into this round with, I mean, it's not the worst buy imaginable, but the fact that they're coming in with 2 MAC-10s is very telling. And they also haven't gone super aggressive. Instead, it's CYBERSHOKE that have decided to push out, take very strong map control. They catch out Blixie, and at this point, they've left A completely open. So they're going to have to mount a retake here, but it's 5 versus 3, and Iceberg still has a MAC-10.
It's a 5 versus 3, and on top of that, CYBERSHOKE have all the map control. They've got all of middle. They've got all of lane. Like, this isn't an issue. This is actually best case scenario for them. And Iceberg, well, that MAC-10 goes where he shouldn't. Goes a little bit too far stretched, and Fenneman will pick him off, meaning that this round is getting even further dire for Sashi. A 2 versus 5 on the post plant. 3 from Donut. Lucky, he just had to get that first kill. He just has to hit the instant headshot. And Siphon, sure, this man can do stupendous things on a game of CS, but unfortunately, there's only so much you can do in the 1 versus 5. And CYBERSHOKE, a really clean round, and they're going to be very happy stringing these together now.
They're 2 rounds away from hitting your predicted scoreline.
Yeah,
So-
I said, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got 4 rounds of buffer.
Yeah, but I'm scared. It's like
We'll
2
give it a
points
little
for
bit.
correct score, 1 point for correct victory.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. And again, we're going for this fairly deep mid info. I like that. Fairly standard, but it's one of my favorite things to see. Get that early info, back out, get Donut, and then just kind of hold there. Oh, but it is also just a pistol round, so we shouldn't expect too much to come through from this. Realistically, if they can run over here, get maybe 1 or 2, that's the first. Follow it up, weapon retrieved. Stand with smoke, but not quite connecting. A bomb plant. Bomb plant denied. Try again. Yes, a little bit of extra cash. Lucky tries to make it expensive, but all in all, yeah, that goes about as expected.
Feel bad for Not an Eki there, because he smokes Donut, and the smoke just doesn't bloom. It just bounces around in the cracks and crevices and just refuses to give him coverage. He played that perfectly and then gets trolled by his own utility. But it's another round where, look, those pistols can be dangerous. CYBERSHOKE showed us that we have to respect those pistols because those deagles can sing the deadly song of death. But for CYBERSHOKE, their retakes on A have been really clean. They're keeping significant players alive, and this time we've got to change up in their default. No player starting A. It's still going to be 3v once again. We're putting a little bit more emphasis towards middle, and there's artillery everywhere. The dance of nades only just pushes Blixie in further. We crunch out a cave into elbow and lane, and Iceberg is just left wondering, how did this round go so wrong within 10 seconds of it starting?
We've had a few rounds that have kind of gone that way, where it just ended before it even had an opportunity to start. And I think that so much of what's enabling CYBERSHOKE here is their very strong map control. They leave that A extremity relatively unguarded, but that's pretty standard. And then you've got a player in towards Donut, and you have 1, maybe 2 players pushing in towards mid to take that control there, and the rest are kind of reinforcing over towards B. It's beautiful, and it allows them a lot of space to push in and corral Sashi. So it denies them a lot of space. And it's very simple, it's very cut and dry, it's exactly how you want to be playing Ancient, and it's working. Sashi now need to figure out, well, how do we stop them from taking every last bit of space on this map?
Well, a Brolan Molly would probably be a pretty good start in cave, and smoking cave entrance would also be a pretty good step to it. And then just maybe not fighting them straight away. Like, we don't have to necessarily duel them within 20 seconds of ramp of the round on ramp and on middle. But if we are, we may as well use the correct utility. Just get a Heaven Mollo, get a Brolan Mollo, get a Cave Smoke, smoke Shelf, and then maybe instead of smoking Cave, fight into Cave with no presence from mid. Like there's workarounds, and we're just kind of taking the fight to CYBERSHOKE without, I don't know, we're just running the same things in CYBERSHOKE. This really early presence they're taking, feel like we should let them. Another change up for the defense, this time not necessarily fighting as heavy towards lane and middle. They're actually sending Glowing over towards the A bomb site, leaving Lovercus just alone in middle. And Sashi are realizing, look, if there's 2 sets of utility, there's probably 2 players mid. If there's only 1, well, there's probably going to be a player on A and 3 on B. And they've read this correctly as they just contact their way out mid.
Not having to contend with the aggression CYBERSHOKE this time around in mid is certainly a boon, but now Glowing has that information. Spots out at least one. I think he spotted the second. I'm not entirely sure. So that will inform some of this utility and potentially rotations as the round goes on. The bomb hasn't committed anywhere just yet, and I kind of like this from Sashi. Until they decide where they actually want to exec. Leave that in a safe spot. They've now collected bomb, and they're heading over towards the B site.
I like this because we've got no mid control for CYBERSHOKE. We've got no donut control, no A main control. There's actually a big lack of everything. And over on this B bomb site, yeah, I actually like how Blixie and Phenomen are playing this. Maybe the AWP is in a precarious position because he can be overrun, and I think he's about to be. And we're also not... Oh, one of the universe here. That Molotov, not the cave entrance, but it's what I mean. AWP close range, he misses the first shot. That's when it gets very perilous. No long util, and that will allow Glowing a way in. He's only able to get 1. The bomb shall not be denied in its pursuit to plant. Lovercus and Notaneki, 2 versus 3. They're making this work. They know where both players are. There's no utility, but there's a kit on Lovercus. And what I like from Lucky is that he's rotating back towards Cave. A great flashbang to prop up his teammate, but only for 1 kill. And Notaneki never anticipates Lucky already rotating around towards Cave like that. A nice round for Sashi, but cool, that comes very close.
And quite costly, all things considered. Gonna have to kind of spread the love a little bit here between teammates to make sure that they can still come into this round, because CYBERSHOKE, they've had so many good rounds that they've still got decent bit of cash in the back pocket, so they're not terribly concerned with that one. But very important round for Sashi to be winning, finally getting that second round on the board. It's been a bit laborious, but they've done it at last, and now CYBERSHOKE are back onto their mid shenanigans. Very, very quick mid control, very aggressive, but they've left a lot of space open for Sashi to get in onto this B site. They're taking it basically for free now. Gets spotted out. Glowing, a double kill before he's finally taken down. But the site is still somewhat under Sashi control. Unfortunately, look at Typhon. He's on the other side of the map, and CYBERSHOKE are looking to collapse into the 2 players that are alone on this B site.
I mean, it might work. The smoke and CT is, and you know, this utility, it's keeping Phenomen on watch. Oh my god, Siphon whiffs, but luckily he does connect on the headshot. All 3 players now retaking from Cave. Siphon's gonna be able to clear out CT, so everyone can focus their attentions towards ramp and Cave. Smoke long, doing God's work, but Lovercus unable to get more than 1. Zyphon, his very long flank, actually ends up winning them the round. And maybe my 6 was correct. Sashi will have to go flawless, but hey, there's definitely a world it can work. Another round for CYBERSHOKE where I feel like they probably could have won that one, but instead it goes in favor of the T side.
I think what's really crazy to me is, like, CYBERSHOKE gives so much respect. And okay, they're not aware that it's only 2 players that are currently on the site. They think it's all 3. So they are playing that little bit slower. But because they give over so much of that respect, they give time for Zyphon to literally go around the entire damn map, all the way through the A extremity, and wrap around into the CT spawn to get that kill, and then bring it to more even numbers. And that was... it's one of those, like, split-second decisions that you make and unfortunately it just doesn't work out for CYBERSHOKE. And they concede yet another round. But it's huge for Sashi because this was another round where CYBERSHOKE had taken so much of that mid-control, where Sashi had been losing so many of those battles. So for them to have found a way to get around it, I don't know if that works a second round. So I think that we need to see something different now. But it's good that they're finding these ways back in.
They're building up a bank balance of rounds. Blixie, blocked by the smoke. He's just trying to get through. SMG, Cabby's aware of this. Blixie, if he walks any way forward, he's a dead man walking. Or will he catch Cabby off guard? It looks like it will not be the latter, because Cabby is just far too clean with him. And he's dancing around the smoke, playing games with glowing. And even though he dinked Zyphon with 1 bullet left in the magazine, Zyphon spray transfers up, maintains a severe advantage for Sashi, as Lovicus and Phenomen nowhere near together, very much separated, have to fight down by themselves. And Phenomen is doing a pretty good job at it so far, but he is just actually going to spur the opposition away from the B bomb site, and Lovicus not really in a position to do anything. Cabby's got a smoke for CT as well. Lovicus in towards Temple. It's currently mollowed, but he could catch up a freebie onto Cabby, and he misses the mark. 20 HP, 1 bullet is all he needed. And with no kit for CYBERSHOKE, this retake can be very difficult, but there down goes Cabby, finally eliminated. Double donut. They're taking the fight to CYBERSHOKE, and the fight is prevailing and will prevail for a round.
Oh, they give Iceberg ones. Although, to be fair, Iceberg plays that really well. He kind of plays a little bit further back in that kind of cave connector tunnel thing, which means that it is Donut, but it wasn't in Donut. It was in the, like, the tunnel part, like above Donut. Anyway, point being, it means that there's less sightline. If he pushes even further into, like, the tunnel mouth, he's caught in that crossfire 100%, but instead holds a little bit further back, wins that first duel, and follows it up with the second as well. So great little performance from him there, and that's bringing Sashi up to that 4th round, and starting this round on a heater. Of course, it is an anti-eco, but looking like we're going to get that 5th as well. We may just see another evened out scoreline on this map, much like what we saw on Nuke earlier.
Okay. No, not again. We've been here before. Flashbacks from when CYBERSHOKE won with a saved M4 and pistols. This is terrifying.
There's no way.
Bomb is down. Bomb needs to be placed. They have to fight it out in A main. Sitting in his own Molotov. Zyphon, he will fall to his grave. Phenomen, no armor, and A1S, reloaded, 24 HP. Surely there's no way for him to succeed, and it will not. Wow, that got far too close.
I mean, I love how Zyphon plays that. You can look at that and go, what on earth are you doing? But it gives them the results they want. He gets another kill before he's eventually traded out, which makes it a far more winnable situation for the last 2 players left alive in that scenario. It looked like that was gonna kind of slip through Sashi's fingers. Again, one of those eco rounds where CYBERSHOKE just gets way more value than they have any right to. Their pistol's doing some exceptional work, but fortunately for them, this time around, they're not able to make that magic happen. So now Sashi, 1 round away from evening out the scoreline. CYBERSHOKE, very, very little utility left to use here. They've burnt a lot of their early util. Now only 1 flash and 1 Molotov, or 1 incendiary, to give them any sort of assistance. Meanwhile, Sashi, still so much to work with. Time on their side. Now's not the time to get overconfident.
Need to be careful of Notaneki. I'm not really normally a fan of deep A main aggression from the City side. I feel like it's very ineffective, and that's a rough start. Lovicus just spams Zyphon through the smoke, and now Notaneki starts to mobilize. Lovicus just got another through smoke. That is horrific. That is obscene. Sashi haven't even seen someone, and they're already in a 2-man disadvantageous position. Notaneki as well has just cleared out the whole of middle. This is going to allow Fenneman to rotate. It's going to allow Glowing to rotate. Lovicus is already over towards this B-bomb site. Sure, they might get the bomb down, but it's going to be a 5 versus 3 retake with players already here. And well, the bomb's not even going to get down. There's no smoke for long, and as they duel, they fall. CYBERSHOKE, they maintain and man their lead as they go into the second half of our decider map.
A 7-5 half, not the 6-6 that I thought we might end on, but it's CYBERSHOKE who have won out that half and are looking to take their very first win here in ECL Season 49. Sashi had some really good moments on their T side, but it wasn't enough to give them any sort of room to breathe as we move on to our second half here. So a pistol round here becomes somewhat of a necessity. 7-5 isn't the worst score in the world to come back from, but you want to keep it as clean as humanly possible.
Oh, Zyphon just cleared out the whole of A. And Iceberg's going, yep, there's no one middle. It's probably going to be a play towards B. Zyphon doesn't get the connection that he wanted to. Blixie, just a small little tag. And I wonder if CYBERSHOKE pivot with this information. be surprised maybe if they still commit towards B, and I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen maybe more of a rotation away from middle. And well, as soon as we actually do, as soon as Iceberg leaves Red Room, CYBERSHOKE faked the B-bomb side. This is perfect. This is amazing. Zyphon is here, tucked around Big Box. They might not clear him. He kills the wrong person to start with, and he's still alive. Unfortunately, only good for the first, but he's caught up so much time that all his rotations have flowed in, and with Lovicus banging his teammate in the back of the head, Glowing, who is now trailing over from the B-bomb site, has nothing that he can do. A 1 versus 3 is called upon him. The star man of CYBERSHOKE. He was a force to be reckoned with on Mirage. He does pick up the bomb. Oh my god, he might go back towards B, but Cabby stops him in his tracks.
I was waiting for that, man. I was waiting for him to slip away, run to B, plant the bomb, still lose the round, but at least get that extra cash. But unfortunately not to be. Gets caught out. They knew where he was, though. So I don't think there was ever really a world in which they allow him to slip away into the night. But it would have been fun nonetheless. A great round from Sashi, a much needed round as well, which brings that deficit down to only 1. And is it too soon to say that CYBERSHOKE should be worried?
I'd say this game has a lot of legs to it still. Pistol rounds neither here nor there with importance when it's... Well, obviously it is important because Sashi now way back in. I think the importance is that Sashi win the pistol round and it's going to be a competitive second half. But I think the gun rounds especially is going to be very telling. I haven't seen a lot of CYBERSHOKE on Ancient. I haven't seen them yet actually on this map, so I'm intrigued to see what their T-side's going to be like. I feel like they were very relentless on their city side, but then didn't have too much to fall back on. So I can imagine we have a similar philosophy of just running out mid, running up lane, running up heaven, taking the fight to Sashi. So it's going to be very interesting when they get on the guns. But a tied game after this round, you'd think, is going to be a very exciting decider, which is exactly what we deserve after a just quintessentially fantastic series.
I want to see CYBERSHOKE do something in this round, purely for the chaos of it all. But unfortunately, not to be the case. One of the most common spots in all time just ran straight past it. What were you really going to do with pistols?
Bit of a gimmicky spot, to be fair. Especially when someone takes contact deep CT, it almost feels like that they're alone. It's a nice setup against an anti-eco, to be fair. Because you don't have the util to flush it out or flash it off.
Yeah. Well, there we go. 7-7. Scoreline ties up. Now, who pulls ahead? Now, your prediction is already, unfortunately, unlikely to, well, impossible to come to fruition. There's still a chance for me, though. CYBERSHOKE need this round to give them a little bit more room to work with. But I feel like Sashi's loadout, like, it's not ideal, right? It's definitely not. But it's still good. I mean, they literally almost won a map. At the very least, they won a round. A very important round with this exact loadout on Mirage, which gave them a lot of legs. Okay, they didn't win the map, ultimately, but
On the
kind of helped them. Yeah, it took the distance, quite literally. So maybe they can make some similar magic with that same loadout here.
Spam could have been deadly. And this smoke and donut fades. Because this duel in... Oh, the flash misses. The flash misses. No! Blixie and Lovicus just run to their grave. Glowing has set them up for failure. Cabby gets one at range. Zyphon is able to secure their dominion towards Donut. And Phenomen, sure, he might pick up another one, but it's only a consolation. Sashi, oh, wow, that is a nice shot to Altex. But Sashi, they're storming ahead. And that round, I think, would have gone a very different way if Glowing's flashbang had hit.
I mean, a consolation, but a pretty solid consolation, all things considered. It's quite a bit done. Getting those couple of kills there, and that's going to force a much heavier reinvest. But yes, I mean, had that flash actually landed, this round could very well have gone a different way entirely. It could have gone similarly, but it could also have been different, and that unfortunately is the duality of, you know, Counter-Strike and utility.
The duality of men.
Indeed. The duality of flashbangs. It either hits or it doesn't. Much like those Tech 9 shots, which do in fact hit. Zyphon run down. Gun taken. Recovered. Back away slowly, gents. Let's see where we can find some space now. Already players getting spotted out. Blixie with that recovered AK gets so much done. They're going to push straight into Red Room here. Bullets flying through the smoke, but instead they opt again to just back the hell out because look at Lovicus. He's taken so much space in towards A, which means he knows the bomb site is clear. We can plant. Now Cabby will have heard these sound cues. So he's going to call his teammates to rotate back across, but it is a 4 versus 4 rather. A 3 versus 4 with a huge advantage to Sashi, but they still should be playing their numbers. Play this more carefully because Glowing has turned into a lurker himself. He's picked up an M4, but he gets caught out. Iceberg knows that it's happening. Venom somehow still with the Tech 9 getting so much done. Notaneki follows it up, and that leaves Iceberg all alone, and he has to retreat.
Saw us a little bit from Glowing earlier today when maybe we're in these close-knit situations when the game had gone very deep onto map 3, that he seems to overstep and get a little bit flustered, and right there, like, he's in the perfect position. He doesn't have to move, he doesn't have to make any sound cues, but then he does. Like, he just gives up that kill to Iceberg. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but you know, that was a very weird situation where he had the round in the palm of his hands and he almost throws it all away, but luckily the time had run too thin. Luckily his teammates are able to man the fort, and we go 8-8. CYBERSHOKE, they lose the first gun round, but with a sharp rebuttal on the pistols of all weapons. The second time this map for CYBERSHOKE, they keep it in this deadlock.
I do love when it gets a little bit back and forth like this. Round and around we go. Where we stop, nobody quite knows. A little bit of poking and prodding here. Blix is going to be the first one to draw blood through that smoke. A little space to work with on B here. It's going to force Sashi to have to rethink how they're setting up this defensive line. And I like that we keep things a little bit slower. We get that first kill. Ooh, Zyphon with a return fire through the smoke himself. It's going to bring the numbers back to a more even kilter. Not the way that CYBERSHOKE wanted that to go. But it's 4 versus 2 here on the B site, waiting for those reinforcements to come through. But Glowing continues to be an absolute menace. He will crack open this site, and what was a 4 versus 2 turns into a 4 versus none as the last 2 players from Sashi retreat towards the A site to hold on to their guns.
Yeah, just not enough proactivity for the city side, in my opinion, in that 4 versus 4. We just leave 2 players on B, very much isolated by themselves, and Glowing, sure, he may have been a bit flustered in the previous, but right there, a magnificent double opener onto that bomb site gives CYBERSHOKE the lead for the first time in this second half. And Sashi in a very difficult position where, sure, they have saved these weapons, but economy is going to mean that it's going to be an eco surrounding these 2 weapons. We've only had 1900 loss bonus. We're going to be trying to save up for a gun round the next. And this means if CYBERSHOKE are able to get past the 2 saved A1Ss and probably just USPs, then they will be on double digits, and they're going to be within touching distance away from winning Ancient and their first best of 3 here in the ESL Challenger Season 49 Group A.
And the VRS goes up, which is always a nice little bonus.
By 8 points, and for both teams, we're in a really awkward position where Sashi are trying to get back to a tier 1 level that they would have been last year, and should be with Zyphon, and CYBERSHOKE are trying to get more of a mainstay in like the CCT main sources, which it looks like after this they will, or is Zyphon going to have something to say about it? Beautiful flashbangs from Cabby. He gets repelled for a magnificent double, and now CYBERSHOKE are just forced to walk out onto this A-bomb site. Zyphon, he's not done just yet, and Cabby with a double dink. Zyphon finalizes it with a magnificent, glorious 4K, and what an upset from Sashi. They are still certainly in this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that round was dumb. Works out beautifully, like you said, right? A flash that sets him up. You got two players that are standing right next to each other. So the transfer is the easiest one of his life. He repositions in towards Donut as that push starts to come through. Again, set up by some really solid utility. Follows it up. Sure, he loses a teammate, but that's okay. Cabby was there, I believe, with a USP to get a kill as well, and it just falls apart in the most ridiculous way imaginable. And Cabby will just continue to be an absolute pain here. Nice little shot there as the smoke was clearing. And that instantly gives Sashi the numbers advantage. They'll be feeling pretty darn good about that. Can they leverage that into yet another round win? Take us to double digits.
I'm just hoping someone gets the bomb here. Please don't commit without the bomb. That would be scary. Okay, we're getting the bomb. Fenneman down is a big piece of the puzzle eliminated for CYBERSHOKE. It's not only just an opening kill, but it's supposedly one of your heavier hitters. And Sashi in a very good position. Cabby rotating away from B, and same with Altex, makes me a little bit scared. A re-smoke towards top ramp I wouldn't be against right now for Mr. Altex, but I think he's scared of being held for, and he is. That smoke top ramp came way too late. Blix is already on the bomb site. What are we doing, guys? We had 3 players B, and for some reason we rotate Cabby away. We don't smoke top ramp until it's too late, and now with the fight being taken towards long, the trades pay dividends in favor of CYBERSHOKE. Lucky, sure, he's quick on the scene, but they're holding for him. The bomb does need to cross, and it needs to get planted. Lovakus just kills his teammate! No, it's all falling apart. Not an Eki now left in the 1 versus 2, and Lucky silences him. You have to be simply kidding me. There is no chance that round gets won.
These small mistakes, the cracks are starting to show. We spoke about how, you know, these teams might be a little bit tired after a grueling day, particularly CYBERSHOKE. And I think that that round is a prime example of how that really can affect how you play as the day goes on. It's these small little mistakes that shine through. And a team like Sashi, give them the chance, if you show them those cracks, they will force it. They will force it into a gaping hole. And that leaves, I mean, a gaping hole in CYBERSHOKE's economy. They've got very little to work with here. Sashi now on double digits. Winning this round puts them at 11. They are very near to map and series point. And CYBERSHOKE are floundering.
It's a stage where we're just pushing smokes. Oh, I can't believe I can't believe Sashi almost lost a 5v4 where they had the right read, and then they win a 2 versus 3 because Lovakus kills his teammate. What is going on?
It'd be like
And,
that.
okay, no pistol madness, it seems like, this round. We've already had too many eco rounds being won. 3 to be exact on Ancient. And Sashi giving CYBERSHOKE a taste for him. Probably the most important time. 1 loss, that's fine. We keep 4 alive. We're more than happy with that for Sashi. They go to 11, and this could be the final gun round of not only this map, but this whole series for CYBERSHOKE.
The funniest part of that, like, 3 eco rounds on this map is that doesn't take into consideration the other maps, because there were quite a few on those as well. It's been a day for it of just the most egregious anti-ecos, and I believe it was you and I that were talking about how, like, we've seen a lot of teams, yeah, I mean, but we've recently seen a lot of teams doing really well and kind of stabilizing in these anti-eco scenarios, and now
Not
like
today.
the ecos, yeah, they are back with a vengeance. And CYBERSHOKE, oh, I was about to say maybe they're back with a vengeance, but no, Iceberg just spams glowing down through the smoke. Glowing offline is not ideal. It's got to be the exhaustion at this point. I feel like there's a point where, like, the neurons stop firing in the way that you want them to. You kind of just go full, like, instinct, like animal instinct vibes, and the mistakes really do start to shine through.
Well, almost did it in bullets fired last time, but sitting in that smoke, waiting for it to fade. Lucky and Zyphon take the fight to them. Nade disperses the smoke, gives up the jig. Lovicus walks to his grave. Sashi now with 1 round to go before they can close out this series. 3 opportunities to do so, and they've got it right exactly where they want them. CYBERSHOKE down to a low purchase, falling back on max loss. 3.4k is all they have to work with. Another gun round gone awry.
This is heartbreaking, I feel like, for CYBERSHOKE, you know, after such a long day. And I know I keep harping on it, but I think that for a team that has gone through that much in a day, at the end of the day, when you get into bed, the sweet release that comes with sleep is just that much more intense.
Can't wait.
Oh. But I don't want to be too much of a Debbie Downer. There's a chance. An opening kill here. Could be... No, they check for him, but he still gets one. What? Okay, he gets that first kill. Finally, he is traded out. That's going to get them to kind of hit the accelerator, push in towards this B side. Now, Sashi are a little bit further back, and they've been kind of smoked off quite heavily here, so they're not able to deny that bomb plant from going through, but they're just going to keep spamming through the smoke, and that's going to get shots to connect onto Glowing. Takes him offline. 4 versus 3 here, but Fenneman is so dangerously low on HP. Now, Notaneki's trying to play Gatekeeper, flash off of his position, trying to get the shots to connect, but Flusty gets up first. Notaneki can't get the transfer to go through. It comes down to the 1 versus 1. Lovicus cannot make the magic happen, and it's Zyphon. It had to be Zyphon to get the final kill of the map, of the series, and take Sashi to another victory and drop CYBERSHOKE to 0-4 in ECL Season 49.
Hey, at least they won a map this time. That's better than the previous, but ooh, I'm really glad Zyphon got that final kill because